Welcome back to Only Talk Sports, and tonight we have Game 3 of the NBA Finals between the Denver Nuggets and the Miami Heat. The series, to some people's surprise, is tied 1-1. A lot of people, I think, thought Denver would be up 2-0 at home with both their home games. The fact that they hadn't lost a playoff game at home yet, but they finally did to the Miami Heat. They were fantastic in Game 2, squeaking out that win. But now it is back in Miami for the first time in this series, but the Heat have been great at home as well. And they get the ball on the tip, and Bam Adebayo misses the first shot of the game. It was a reverse layup that was a little bit short. And then on the other end, for the Denver Nuggets, you got Aaron Gordon down low, and he is fouled, but no free throws yet. I think that they called it on the floor. So we have a tie game still 0-2-0. 11:35 to go in the first quarter, but it's the highly anticipated Game 3 of the Finals. Both teams can be making history with a win in this series. It's going to be a lot of fun to see who ultimately wins this series at the end of the day and gets a title. Will it be Denver for their first ever, or Miami being the first 8 seed to get it done? It's going to be crazy. But you've got the first points of the game. Bam Adebayo with the reverse. He gets the shot to go. 2-0, making up for that missed layup. That's a big shot right there by Bam Adebayo. You've got 11 to go in the first quarter. Jamal Murray kicking it outside to Jokic. Driving into the lane. Jokic taking up the floor for the Heat. He's dribbling the ball fairly well for a center. Now you've got Max Strus at the top of the key over to Kevin Love, and Kevin Love drains the three. It's 5-0, and the Heat crowd is on their feet, and that is a good sign for Miami. They have tied this series, and their confidence and momentum looks like it's carrying over to this game just a little bit. 5-0 Miami in front. Can Denver get on the board? Jamal Murray in the lane, and Jamal Murray with the effortless score. That was a great play right there by Jamal Murray. 5-2. 10-20 to go in the first quarter. You've got Jimmy Butler at the top of the key. Kicks to Kevin Love in the corner. He shoots the three. He's off the mark this time with a little bit of a heat check there. He just hit one on the previous possession. Could not fall with another three. Now you got Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. He misses a three on the other end for Denver. So the Nuggets, you can definitely tell their offensive woes are kind of continuing a little bit to start this game. You got Max Strus to Bam, and Bam Adebayo. He knocks down the mid-range jumper, and when Bam is making mid-range jump shots, that is a great sign for the Heat, because that means that the rest of their offense can get going, because if you give it to him in the mid-range, then someone has to guard him, and then he can kick it to someone else. It just makes the whole entire Miami Heat offense that much better. It's 7-2 Heat lead. You've got Jokic with the basketball. Over to Michael Porter Jr., to Jamal Murray, driving into the lane. Murray with the floater, and Jamal Murray, he scores the basket. What a play right there by Jamal Murray. He's got all 4 points for Denver. 7-4, Heat still in front. Top of the key, Jimmy Butler inside to the rim, and Jimmy buckets with the layup. 9-4, 5-point lead for Miami. 9:20 to go in the first quarter. What a sweet play by Jimmy Butler. Now you've got Jamal Murray on the other end. He's got all the points for Denver. Gets it to Nikola Jokic. Down low, and Jokic over Jimmy Butler. There's not much that Jimmy Butler can do right there. Jokic, too much for him, and that was a pretty easy layup for Jokic. 9-6, 3-point game. Under 9 to go in the first quarter. You've got Jimmy Butler driving into the lane. He misses the shot. Jokic taps it over to Gordon, and Denver with numbers. Down the floor, Gordon to the rim. Kicks to Jamal Murray for a game time three potentially. He can't make the shot. Very and been able to potentially send it to overtime, but Miami held on in game 2. It's why we're tied 1-1 in the series. 8:30 to go in the first quarter. Bam in the mid-range. He shoots over Jokic, and his shot is off the mark. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, he brings down the board, kicks it over to Jamal Murray. Murray gets a screen from Jokic. Murray with a little mid-range jumper, and Murray with the smooth release and the smooth flush. What a shot right there. 9-8. That is a great play. Fantastic by Jamal Murray. He is looking really good to start in this game with 6 of Denver's 8 points. 8 to go in the first quarter. Miami for 3. They are off the mark right there. But Strus with the offensive rebound. That right there is going to get minutes in the NBA. Just playing hard, getting those offensive rebounds, besides doing the other things you do on the offensive end. Gabe Vincent in the corner, and Gabe Vincent splashes home the three. What a pass as well to get it to him in the corner. 12-8, Heater up by 4. Both teams' offenses are doing fairly well, but especially Miami's. Jamal Murray in the lane. He misses this time, but Jokic tapping it around, and somehow he saves it from going out of bounds. Jokic trying to back down Bam. He cannot, but kicks to Murray. Down low to Gordon. Gordon back to Murray, and Jamal Murray with 8 of the 10 for the Nuggets. What a play. 12-10, 7:20 to go in the first quarter. Jamal Murray's 4 of 6 from the field. He is looking very aggressive to start this game. Probably he's hoping that it will carry over to his teammates. Jimmy Butler, though, backing it down in the lane, doing what he does best, and he will have a couple of free throws. He's earning some free throws for his efforts trying to get in the lane. He got fouled on the arm. But if Jamal Murray keep up this level of play, that would be huge, because Jokic is going to get his. Jokic always scores a lot of points, but I think the biggest key for Denver is they need more production out of the other players on their team, like they were the entire of these 2023 NBA playoff season. The entirety of it, they were doing such a great job. But then you look at Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Bruce Brown, some of those guys, they just did not play as well in game 2, and they still almost won because Jokic was fantastic, putting up 41 points. But unfortunately for the Nuggets, they just did not get enough production out of the rest of their guys. While for Miami, that was their problem in game 1, just were not getting enough production out of their other guys. But in game 2, they had Max Strus, they had Duncan Robinson stepping up to the plate and playing really solid in that game, and Miami was able to find a way to win on the road and beat Denver for the first time in the playoffs at home. Miami hit both free throws, so Jimmy Buckets did a good job at the line. Denver missed on the other end, and then Miami misses as well. So it's back with the Nuggets, 14-10, 6:40 to go in the first quarter. Jamal Murray trying to drive, kicks to Jokic. Jokic somehow flips it to Porter Jr., and he scores. There was a lot of contact, no foul, but Jokic, I don't know if he just lost the ball or it just went over to Porter Jr., but that was an insane play. I think he will be credited with an assist. Butler down the lane, he misses again, still 14-12, 6:20 to go in the first quarter. Denver down the lane, and they're going to call an offensive foul on KCP. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope got all the way to the rim. He scored the basket, but they're going to call an offensive foul. I think that Kevin Love got that charge. Were his feet outside the arc? And they were. Both feet were outside the arc, and he stood right in front of KCP, drawing that charge. That is a veteran move by, and definitely a big reason why he's still in the NBA and why the Heat wanted him. That is a great play right there on the defensive end. And that's plays like that are going to get you this series win here, this finals win. You got to play hard on defense and on offense if you want to win. RC covers the WNBA and NBA. Really appreciate you for stopping by. It's Only Talk Sports. It's almost that time. 100%. It's really getting interesting for sure in this series. A lot of people were a little bit skeptical if the Miami Heat were going to be able to hang with Denver. But then when Denver lost at home in game 2, now we're tied 1-1. It's anybody's ball game, and you can almost argue it's leaning Miami a bit, because if Miami wins the next 2 home games, they'll be up 3-1. But we'll have to see. Denver is a capable road team as well. They were able to beat the Lakers on the road in that series to be able to sweep them. So we'll have to see if Denver can get this win here. But this is a very important game, because if Denver wins, it will swing the momentum back their way. But if Miami can go up 2-1 and then be able to potentially go up 3-1, that would be insane. So it definitely is that time, RC. It is fantastic. If you are an NBA fan, it is the finals. You cannot beat that. We've got a few games left. Season's going to be over, but we'll be looking forward to the next season for sure. It can be a lot of off-season news as well, but really appreciate you for stopping by. Jeff says, I'm here and ready to roll. Thank you so much for stopping by, Jeff. Really appreciate it. Definitely this game is looking like it's going to be a barn burner. Nana says, I'm here also. I really appreciate that, Nana. Really, really do. It means a lot. But definitely, I think we're all going to be treated to a really good game here tonight. I really have a hard time for seeing it being a blowout. It could. I've definitely seen a lot of blowouts in these 2023 NBA finals, even in a lot of games that were not expected to be. The way both these teams are playing, and the fact that you do have this being the finals, and both teams could make history, and you have, the hunger and the anticipation of the youth with Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. They're wanting to get their first title for the franchise and for them as well. And then with Miami, you got Jimmy Butler, a guy that knows this could be potentially one of his last best chances to win a title with the Miami Heat. He really wants to get that job done. And for all their guys, well, they're really young as well. They probably want to get it done. It'll be huge for either franchise. But definitely, there is a lot on the line, a lot of stakes, and that's what makes the finals so much fun because of the fact when you have a lot of stakes, it just makes it so much more interesting for sure. And both teams are going to give it everything they've got, even harder than they normally do because teams play hard in the regular season. These guys want to win, especially if you have that mentality that you just want to give it everything you've got, lay it all on the line. So even in regular season games, you can't beat it sometimes. But when you've got games like this, the finals, even just some regular playoff games like toward the beginning, it definitely means just a little bit more to these guys. You can just tell, and they're going out there and they're diving on the floor for loose balls, blocking shots on the weak side, doing everything they can to get steals and just upping their game to the nth degree to try to win. And that's what matters at the end of the day. As a team, you want to find a way to be able to win together. It's a big deal for sure. And you just don't get that many opportunities to get it done, especially with the amount of teams in the NBA that are so great. I mean, you look at how impatient some of these teams are. I mean, Doc Rivers, some of these coaches are getting fired for advancing in the playoffs, but not getting to here, the finals. That's where they want to go. Or even just the conference finals. So it's crazy for sure. Definitely shows you how important it is for a lot of these franchises. They want to get here. And for Denver and Miami, it has been an honor for both of them. And they definitely, again, could make history with the win. But I really do appreciate you for being here, Nana. It means a lot. Jackson says the Heat are spreading the love with Kevin Love. That's a good one, Jackson. Really appreciate you for stopping by. But definitely Kevin Love is a guy that does so much besides scoring. He was much more of a scorer earlier in his career, but he's gotten so much better at other things like passing and just being a really solid player all around, knowing his role at his age. Really good pickup for the Miami Heat. On the other end, for Miami, they missed the shots back with Denver. 14-12. Jokic for three. His shot's off the mark. Bam. He rips down the board. 5:50 to go in the first quarter. Heat going down the floor. You got Gabe Vincent driving in the lane. His shot's just a little bit off the mark. He had a great look, just could not get it to fall. Jokic, he passes it up the floor to Jamal Murray. Murray with the basketball. Jimmy Butler on. It's been a great matchup all series long. Murray to Jokic for two, and Jokic with the soft touch. It hit the front rim, backboard, and in. 14-14, but that's a really good play by Jokic right there. Again, that soft touch. He's got 4 points and 5 boards. Bam in the lane for two. His shots did not have the soft touch like Jokic did not go in. Up the floor, Jokic down low, and they're going to call a foul on Bam Adebayo. That's a tough foul right there. Bam's doing everything he possibly can not to allow Jokic to get that positioning down low to be able to get that easy layup inside. But he gets that foul for grabbing him a little bit. Jokic, you could argue, was fouled by Bam on that jump shot, but they did not call it right there. But Jokic makes up for it. He gets that foul on Bam on the next possession. But there's no free throws because, again, neither team's in the bonus yet, and that foul was on the floor. 5:15 to go. Denver's getting it inside. You got Jokic to Murray, back to Jokic, and Jokic scores effortlessly over Bam again. It's the one thing about Bam and Jokic. Both of them are kind of just letting each other score at will, it seems, at times in this playoff series. Just don't want to exert too much effort on the defensive end when you want to score and try to get it on the offensive end. Still, they're playing hard on defense, but you can tell the offense is where their main priority is. Gabe Vincent for three, and they're going to call a foul on Denver. Will this be the inverse of the Denver Nuggets, how they fouled the Miami Heat several times on threes in game two? I think there was either 2 or 3 times where it happened. Now it's the inverse. Denver just fouled Miami on a three. And if you're Bruce Brown, you've got to let that go. You cannot foul Gabe Vincent on that shot. He just can't do it. You want to be able to guard him. You want to be able to stop him from making the three. But once the ball's out of his hand, there's nothing you can do. It's too late. You can't foul. That was a bad play by Bruce Brown, but everybody makes mistakes. Gabe Vincent knocks down the first free throw. He's a fairly solid free throw shooter. He knocks him down at a pretty high rate. Gabe Vincent, again, an undrafted player out of UC Santa Barbara, a guy that has definitely overperformed expectations that people have for him in the NBA. He does miss the second free throw, so at best, he can tie this game. If he had hit them all, he could have put Miami in front by 1, but he missed the second free throw right there. His last free throw is up, and it is good. So we've got a tie game. It's 16-16, 4:50 to go in the first quarter. Jamal Murray bringing it up the floor. He's had a great start to this game for Denver, and that's why they are tied in this game currently. If not for him, they would be down. He has been great to start. Murray to Jokic. Back to Murray. In the lane, Murray for two. And Murray gets a travel, I think, called on him. He had the shot. It went in. That was a great play by Jamal Murray, but they're going to call a travel. They said he shuffled his feet, which is really hard to do in the NBA. A lot of steps are taken. Sometimes no travel is called, but they do call it right there on Jamal Murray. So still a tie game, but still a good effort nonetheless by Murray. Had a great looking shot attempt. Max Strus, his three's off the mark. Aaron Gordon with that board. Again, showing you the effort on the glass. Denver down the floor. Gordon to Jokic. Turns shoulder over Love. And again, Jokic scores effortlessly. It looks so easy, but it's not. What a play by Jokic. 18-16. 4 to go in the first quarter. Jokic has 8 points and 5 boards. He's putting up all the stats besides the assists, and maybe those assists will come. And then they call a foul on Aaron Gordon for the Denver Nuggets on the other end. So it's 18-16. Nuggets are up by 2. But that is a foul that Gordon's probably going to want back. I mean, you just don't want to get those cheap fouls called against you. You want to be able to earn those fouls. You don't want to do anything malicious. Obviously, you don't want to do that because you don't want to get technically knocked out of the game or hurt somebody. But you do want the fouls to be on a play where it's like you're preventing a score or something, not on a play that's 30 feet away from the basket like Gordon was right there. Cody Zeller's into the game. Caleb Martin's into the game for the Heat. Christian Brown's into the game, and Bruce Brown for the Nuggets. You got Caleb Martin driving in the lane. Over to Jimmy Butler. 0 field goals made in the last 4 minutes for the Heat. They need a bucket to fall, and it's not going to happen because Caleb Martin couldn't get the shot in the corner to go, and Cody Zeller could not get the board. Christian Brown to Jokic, top of the key. Jokic to Gordon. What a pass and what a score by Aaron Gordon. The assists are coming for Jokic. You just can't keep him down at all. 20-16. And the Heat have missed their last 7 field goal attempts. It's not too bad to only be down by 4 right now. 3:20 to go in the first quarter. Caleb Martin over to Jimmy Butler. Butler tries to shoot the three. His shot's off the mark. I don't know if he was trying to draw a foul or he just slipped up right there and he knew he was going to travel, but he just chunked that three up and had no shot of going in. 20-16. Jamal Murray off the dribble. His shot is off the mark, and Jimmy Butler tries to get the rebound, but they're going to call a tie. They're going to call a tie on that play. Jimmy Butler was fighting for that board, and he almost had it, but Aaron Gordon prevented him from completely controlling that ball right there. And now it's going to be a tie where it's going to be interesting to see who wins the tip. That's crazy right there. You had Jimmy Butler like he had that board, and it just did not go in his hands. Good effort by Gordon. Again, those are winning plays. The extra effort that you get to try to win can really help. And see who ends up with the ball. Denver. They can potentially score on this possession. Jokic trying to drive on Cody Zeller, and they call, I think, a foul on Cody Zeller. So really about all you can do if you don't want to give up a score to Jokic is sometimes just foul. I mean, that's not what you want to do because he's a great free throw shooter, but I don't know if they're in the bonus yet, but still, Cody Zeller picks up that fairly cheap foul trying to guard Nikola Jokic, but him trying to drive in the lane, he could not stop Jokic from just being able to overpower him there, and I think he probably got a little bit with the body or on the arm, and the refs, they blew the whistle. Jeff says, Jackson, what is up, Jackson? And Jackson, what's up, Jeff? How's it going? And both of them say they are doing really good. I'm glad that you guys are. Really appreciate you guys for being here. Jackson says, I'm loving what the 2023 NBA Finals is bringing. I'm going as far as to say, regardless who wins the title, this is the best NBA Finals ever. That is definitely a bold statement, Jackson, but you never know. It could be. We'll have to definitely see. I think that the intrigue about the history possibly being made for Denver or Miami, either way you go, that makes for a lot of intrigue. And I think that a lot of people, it's kind of cool to see two different teams that we're not really used to seeing, especially with Denver, where they've never been, but even Miami, a team that no one was really expecting to be here. More people thought it would be the Bucks or the Celtics or the 76ers. But the Miami Heat of all teams, the 8th seed got here. Only the second 8th seed to do it after the 99 Knicks, and they have a chance to win. So I think that, like you said, depending on how it goes down, and even regardless, it is definitely has to be up there as one of the most intriguing NBA Finals, to say the least. But you never know. It could be the best. Who knows? But definitely, we're going to be along for the ride. We're going to see what happens. And again, it's going to be really interesting for sure. I really think that on paper that Denver, you would think, just has a series. But again, that's not how it works because of the fact Miami has been a team that's defied the odds. They were supposed to get beat by the Bucks. Yes, you did have Giannis's injury in those 3 games, but still, even when he returned, a lot of people thought the Bucks would come back and win. But Jimmy Buckets was incredible. Then they beat the Knicks. The Knicks were a hot team coming in. A lot of people thought they would. Then they beat the Celtics. So Miami, they've defied the odds. Can they do it again? I think that they can. I don't know if they will. But they definitely deserve to be here for their high level of play. You can say that there were certain circumstances that allowed Miami to get here, but still, they have been a great team all season with a bunch of guys that you just would not expect to be playing as well as they are. So it's an incredible story for sure. And then for Denver, I think they're just a team that a lot of people overlook because if Jamal Murray had not have gotten hurt, a couple years ago, after the 2020 bubble when he was playing great, and then he got hurt and he's been out for a couple years. Jamal Murray and with Jokic, you never know. Denver will never know now, obviously, what would have happened in the past, but they could have already had a title. You don't know that for sure, but still, they were a team that was, budding. They were getting so much better, and they were bringing in these guys like KCP and Bruce Brown. And I almost feel like, with Murray being out, it made these guys even better because for Denver, those guys had to step up around Jokic. And now that Murray's back, it's just all coming together. And these players and this team is deep. They've got a lot of depth. Them and the Celtics probably the 2 deepest teams in the NBA, but Denver's been a really consistent team. Yeah, they struggled a bit in game 2, but still Denver is a team that is not to be reckoned with. They have a lot of guys that can score the basketball. And it's not just Murray and Jokic in most games. So I really do think that Denver, they have what it takes to possibly win their first title. But it's going to be really interesting for sure. But like you said, Jackson, it should be a great series. And you never know. It could be up there with one of the best. RC covers the WNBA and NBA, says breakneck speed, both teams. Great game thus far. I agree with you, RC. I completely agree with you. And you love that fast pace. Games can be slower and they're still fun, but when you got both teams running the floor, giving all that they got, full cylinder, all adrenaline, it is fantastic. Bruce Brown almost banked in a 3, couldn't get it to fall. And then Christian Brown ended up with the offensive rebound out of nowhere, and then the ball somehow got tapped to Miami. So all that effort for Denver did not come to fruition, but on to the next play. It's all you can do. Jimmy Butler at the top of the key. Miami still struggling to score. They've not hit a field goal in almost 5 minutes. 2:20 to go in the first quarter. Butler almost lost the ball to Murray. Butler driving in the lane, backing him down. He got around Jamal Murray. Murray's calling for a hook. He's not going to get it. And Butler scores 20-18, and that ends the field goal drought for the Heat. 2:10 to go in the first quarter. Jamal Murray going down the floor, being guarded by Caleb Martin. Off the dribble, Murray he gets by Martin, but could not get past Zeller. Kicks to Jokic, and why score yourself when you've got Jokic who you can pass it to in the paint and let him score? What a play. 22-18. 4-point lead for Denver. 2 to go in the first quarter. Been a high-flying first quarter. Both teams had moments of struggle on the offensive end, but Jokic and Murray have been fantastic for Denver. It's the rest of their team, and for Miami, they just got to get more consistent shots and get better-looking shots than some of the shots they've taken in this first quarter. They had some bad shot selection at times. Butler in the lane with a step back, too, and see, that's Butler's bread and butter. That's the type shot right there that's going to get him going and play at a high level. That's a great shot, 22-20, and Butler's up to 8 points. Good sign for Heat fans. Butler has been a little cold the last couple of games. Jamal Murray gets the ball. He's driving in the lane, and there is a turnover. Caleb Martin gets the steal, but they're going to say that Cody Zeller touched the basketball with his foot on the out-of-bounds line. That's a crazy play. It looked like Miami was going to be going back the other way. Oh, I think he did. I think that he did. That's a good call. Oh, it's close. I don't know, mate. Did he have it off the ground when he was touched? I'm not sure. That is close at first glance, like the rest got it right, but I'm not 100% sure. That is so close, but they are giving it back to Carlos. Jokic just score over Zeller, and they're going to call an offensive foul on Jokic. Jokic feels like Cody Zeller flopped. Let's see if it was. Jokic turns shoulder, drives in. I don't know. I think Cody Zeller might have sold that one pretty well. I don't know. That's a good one right there. I have no idea. That was not too much of an offensive foul, but regardless, the ball's going back to the Miami Heat after the turnover on the previous possession. That's a big break for them. But Cody Zeller, that was a good acting job for sure. Jimmy Butler in the lane. He scores with the mid-range 2, and we're tied yet again at 22 apiece. Under a minute to go. Butler's up to 10 points. So Butler, Jokic, and Murray all in double digits, all playing well. Jokic driving in the lane again. He cannot score this time. And Lowry, the smallest guy on the floor, rips down the board. 40 seconds to go in the first quarter. You've got Jimmy Butler with the basketball, driving in the lane, gets to the rim, his shot's off the mark. Butler with the offensive rebound, but he loses it again. KCP saves it from going out of bounds. He almost did not go after the ball several times, but he ended up getting it before it went out of bounds. Now you've got Jeff Green in the lane, and Jeff Green scores 24-22. What a shot right there. What a pass. Denver's back in front. 15 seconds to go in the first. 20 points in the paint for Denver, 8 for Miami. So you can definitely tell Denver, their emphasis is to get easy buckets, score down low, where Miami's been hitting more jumpers. Lowry driving in the lane. Lowry with a turnaround 2 in the paint. And Kyle Lowry with 1 second on the shot clock. Got that bucket to go. 24 all. Reggie Jackson, who's in the game for the Nuggets, with a half-court 3, and his shot is off the mark. So at the end of that free-flowing, fast-moving first quarter, we've got a tie game. 24-24. Both teams played really solid in the first quarter. Again, there were moments where both teams kind of struggled, but I do feel like for the most part, it was a pretty clean first quarter. Both teams, you could tell that they're on a mission to win. Miami, they had a longer drought from the field than Denver, but for the rest of the first quarter, besides that 4-minute drought, they were not too bad. Butler is starting to get back into rhythm. That's a great sign because Jimmy Butler, he's what's got Miami here. You definitely can't forget about the 56-point game he had against the Bucks, and then the 45-point game he had against the Bucks. But then after that, he's kind of trailed off a bit. He hasn't had as big of an impact as he had before in that Bucks series, but he still is a big catalyst for the Heat because he does a lot of things that don't show up on the stat sheet. He gets assists. He gets steals. He does a lot of things for the Heat, and he's still able to score in big moments. He's had a lot of big games. And again, he is a big reason why they're here. And to be fair, in some respects, the only reason that they're here. But in the last couple of series, he's been getting a ton of help. And that's why that they're in the finals, because of the fact that Caleb Martin, Gabe Vincent, Duncan Robinson, Max Strus, the undrafted 4, those guys have been great, and they have been assisting Jimmy Butler in a variety of ways, scoring the basketball, making threes. They've even been trying to defend. Even some of the guys that aren't the best defenders in the world, they've been trying to defend as well as they possibly can. And I think that they have succeeded in being able to defend as many teams as possible, you know, on some of the things that they do best, whether it's Boston being able to shoot lights out from 3. They've been able, you know, in that series, they were able to slow down Boston's ability to shoot from the outside, except for a couple games where Boston was just on fire. Nothing you can do about that. And then in the Denver series, the one thing we felt that Denver would have over Miami was the depth. Denver's depth was going to be too much for Miami. Maybe it will the longer the series goes on. Who knows? But Miami's been able to neutralize Denver's depth because Miami, every guy that comes in, even Hayden Highsmith, a guy that don't even play that much for the Heat, he's been coming in and scoring points. So Miami has had a lot of guys that are making an impact, and they're hanging with Denver because of that. It's a team effort. Basketball is a team effort. It's a team sport. And if you don't have a good basketball team, if you've only got 1 or 2 really good players, you're not going to win that much. But when you have a really good team, a bunch of guys that can score the basketball at a high level and defend at a high level, it increases your chances exponentially of being able to win big games because you have a bunch of guys that are really solid and they play together and they have a great scheme and they're all able to score. And when one guy is not on a given night, kind of be the pick-me-up guy and play really well. So if one guy's really strong, like just say for Denver, you got Caldwell Pope strong, Bruce Brown could be playing well, or Jeff Green. For Miami, if Gabe Vince is not having his best game, or Caleb Martin, Duncan Robinson, Max Strus. So just both teams have a lot of guys that can really help out the team in different games. Sometimes some of those guys make a bigger impact than others in some games, but if you just have enough guys play at a high level, you can win a game. Jeff says, me too. It's fun to see. For sure, to Jackson. RC says, Jimmy is one will run him no matter what happens. I believe that, but I think it's imperative him and the squad to continue to go out for a chance to make history. I agree with you, RC. If Butler does not win it this year, I don't know if his chances are done with the Heat or in his career. I don't think that's the case either. I think, like you said, maybe he has another year or two or another run or two in him, but definitely this is a great opportunity. Can't let it slip away or be wasted. And even if you lose the series, you got to go down fighting. Like game 6, game 7, and a really close game, you just do not want to lose, 4-0 or even 4-1. But Miami, they've already won a game, so they're not going to get swept. But we'll have to see how well that they do. Aaron Gordon down low had 3 opportunities to score. He just could not get the shot to fall around the rim. Big break for Miami. And Kyle Lowry with a tall pass to Bam Adebayo, but it was too tall. He could not score that shot right there. Bruce Brown, the other end, 4-3. 27-24. The Nuggets lead by 3. 11:20 to go in the second quarter. And that's a big shot by Bruce Brown. The 6 starters, Michael Malone calls him. And he is a guy that definitely plays like a starter. He is a do-it-all player. He can drive to the rim. He can shoot the 3. He's a great player and definitely a big asset for the Nuggets. He's been playing some of the best basketball of his career with the Nuggets. And then on the other end, I think they called another foul on Aaron Gordon, so that has to be at least his second foul because he picked up one earlier in the game. They're leaving him in, so it must only be his second, but if you're Aaron Gordon, you don't want to pick up a third. 11:10 to go in the second quarter. Miami with the ball, down by 3 at home. Duncan Robinson's into the game for the Heat. Duncan Robinson for 3. Robinson's shot is barely off the mark. He had a great look, and it almost fell. It just did not drop. Now on the other end, you've got a foul. I think they're going to call it on Duncan Robinson for guarding Aaron Gordon. Duncan Robinson and Aaron Gordon, sometimes both guys can just get cheap fouls down low. I mean, right here, Aaron Gordon's posting up about 18 feet away from the basket, and Robinson just gets a little too handsy. You don't have to do it. You don't have to pick up a foul like that, but it is what it is. Jamal Murray over to Jeff Green. Jeff Green off the dribble, trying to back down Lowry, and Jeff Green succeeds. What a play. The height and weight difference definitely benefited Green there, and he got that shot to drop. 29-24. That was a really athletic play by the veteran. Gabe Vincent with the ball, trying to make a move. He's got Aaron Gordon on, but he loses his footing, has to pass to Caleb Martin. Caleb Martin off the dribble, driving on the rookie Christian Braun. The step back 2. Caleb Martin's shot is in and out. Had a really good look, just couldn't get it to fall. 29-24. 5-point game, Denver in front. Bruce Brown to Jeff Green. Now you've got Gordon still banging with Duncan Robinson down low. Gordon misses the shot. Gordon gets his own miss, misses the shot as well, and he almost got another offensive rebound, but he could not. Aaron Gordon's missing a lot of chippies down low, and he's going to want Bam Adebayo driving into the lane, bowls over Jeff Green, misses the shot wildly, but he got the foul. I think that might have been what he was aiming for right there, but he wasn't even close on that shot. You got Bam with the sidestep. Jeff Green trying to take the charge, but since Bam sidestepped, they're going to call a block, and Bam's shot wasn't even close. We'll have to see if Bam can knock down these free throws. He's a pretty solid free throw shooter. This series, though, Bam's been averaging 23 points and 11 boards. In the previous series, he was only averaging 12 points per game combined. So he's definitely doing a much better job in this series of scoring the basketball. But I think part of that is just Jokic allowing Bam to score at times because he just kind of puts a hand up, doesn't really like get into his body and try to stop him. I mean, I'm not saying Jokic or Bam aren't defending each other, but both guys sometimes are scoring at a relatively easy pace, definitely putting more of their efforts into the offensive end. Bam at the line. He hit the first, but the second one went off the rim, so it's no good. Denver has the ball with a 4-point lead. Under 10 to go. Bam has 5 points and 5 boards. A little bit slower start to this game than he had in game 2, but still contributing at a fairly decent rate to start the game. Bruce Brown driving in the lane. His shot's off the mark. He had a great look right there in the paint. Could have easily hit that shot just a little bit too strong. Miami back the other way. 9:30 to go in the second quarter. Robinson over to Caleb Martin. Driving in Martin to Bam Adebayo for the dunk. 29-27. That's a great pass by Caleb Martin. And Bam Adebayo, he finished the job. 2-point game. 9:20 to go in the second quarter. You've got Jamal Murray going down the floor. Kicks to Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown at the top of the key. Over to Jamal Murray in the corner. Murray shots off the mark, and it looks like Denver is starting to get into a little bit of a dry spell shooting the ball. They've missed their last few field goal attempts. Bam outside to Lowry. Back to Bam in the mid-range. 9 to go in the second quarter. Bam for 2, and his shot's good. 7 points for Bam. And that's a shot that he is really good at. His signature mid-range shot, one of his most efficient shots that he has on the offensive end. And again, that opens up the Heat offense when he's knocking those type shots down, because then that can free up space for those backdoor cuts by Max Strus and Duncan Robinson. If Bam has to be more down low because he's struggling to hit those mid-range shots, and it doesn't give you those driving lanes, even for Jimmy Butler to drive in the lane. Bam doing a really solid job playing his role expertly to start this game. Again, doesn't have to score 30, 35 points, but all he's got to do, get in the 15 to 20-point range, good, around double-digit boards. That's a pretty solid game for Bam, and it gives Miami a chance as long as their other players are making shots. The game's tied 29-29, 8:58 to go in the second quarter. It's been a really interesting game to start. I feel like both teams are playing really well. There's been, again, moments where both teams have struggled, but Denver is a team that just, you feel like they haven't really peaked yet in this game or in game two, because Jokic and Murray both are playing well again, especially this game is more of Murray and Jokic kind of combined equally doing well. Game two, it was by far more of Jokic than Murray, but I feel like for Denver, they need more production from the other guys. Bruce Brown did hit that big three, and they've gotten a couple of nice plays. Jeff Green had that really good drive to the rim. But Denver needs more of that. That's their ticket to success. That's how they're going to win this series. They need more production out of those guys. They are capable. They've shown it all NBA playoff long this year. It's just in this series, they haven't been as crisp, some of the rotation guys. Like Caldwell Pope had a great start to the playoffs for Denver. He was great at the beginning in those earlier series against the T-Wolves or the Lakers. Some of those series, even the Suns, he was playing much better basketball. Last few games, Caldwell Pope has not really had a big game in a while, but he's capable. He has it in him. I mean, if he has a 20 to 25-point game like he's capable of, and then Jokic is 30 points, around 10, 15 assists, something like that, and then Jamal Murray's got 25, it's going to be really hard for Miami to win. But Caldwell Pope has been a little off, so that's helped the Heat. And again, for Miami, you just got to defend. You got to hope Denver struggles a bit on the offensive end. You got to guard as well as you possibly can. You just can't let Denver get hot, because Denver's a team that, for the most part, once they get a substantial lead on you, it is hard to get it back. Miami, though, to their credit, they are a good team that are finding ways to scrap around and not fall behind by too much, because Denver in game two, several moments where they were up by around 10 to 12, looked like Miami was on the brink. They were on the edge, about to lose, about to drop the game. But then Miami just kept chipping away at it, chipping away. And finally, they found a way to get ahead and win at the end. And all that matters at the end of the day is to be winning when the clock is at 0 at the end of the game. But for Denver, though, they need more production out of the other guys. They've got a full team of guys that can score the ball. Everybody that comes into the game can score. In game one, Christian Braun had like 8 points or 10 points in like 10 minutes. He's a guy that, when he's in the game, just make an impact, try to score, try to do the things that you're really capable of. In game two, he did not have as good of a game. Just guys, even like Christian Braun, at the bottom of the depth chart that do come into the game. Everybody's got to do their part. Everybody's got to play at a high level. And the team that has more guys playing well is usually the team that wins the game. Jeff says it's going to be a wild game. I agree with you. It's a close game so far, so it's definitely living up to the hype, living up to the anticipation. I think it also helps with the anticipation and the fact it's been 3 days since the last playoff game on Sunday. We are all the way at Wednesday, so it's crazy for sure. I really appreciate all you guys for being here. Should be a great rest of the game. You have 8:51 left in the second quarter. I think that they call a foul on the Miami Heat. I think they call a foul on the Miami Heat. Denver's going down the floor. Let's see what happens. You got Jamal Murray driving into the lane. I don't know. It looked like Jamal Murray extended his arm on Gabe Vincent. Eric Spoelstra has that look of unbelief on his face right there. 29 all, but that's a break for the Denver Nuggets, because that was a foul, I think, on Jamal Murray. Now you've got the Miami Heat trying to get a steal, and they call another foul on Miami. I think on Gabe Vincent again. Did he foul? I think he did. Gabe Vincent did foul that time. He had his hand just hooked around Jokic's body just a little bit. That wasn't much of a foul either, but that's 2 fouls on Gabe Vincent in like 2 seconds. That is insane. 29-29. Bad break for the Heat. Vincent's on the bench. Lowry is now into the game. They do not want him to pick up a third. Jokic down low to Christian Braun. What a play. 31-29. That is fantastic. Again, showing you Jokic's passing ability. Every time you see it, it's still impressive. It still wows you how good of a passer he is. Now you've got Bam Adebayo with the ball in the mid-range. kicks it to Duncan Robinson, driving in over to Kyle Lowry, to Caleb Martin in the corner, and Caleb Martin, he drains that three. That's good for his confidence. He's been a little cold ever since his illness. Hopefully for Heat fans, he will start knocking down threes at a high rate like he was earlier in the playoff. That's a good sign for him. Christian Braun attacking all the way to the rim. He gets to the rim and he lays it in. That's a good shot by Christian Braun, the rookie out of Kansas, doing solid work right there. 33-32 Nuggets, back in front by 1 point. Caleb Martin left alone for three, and that's a mistake by Denver. You can't leave Caleb Martin open for three when he knocks one down, and he's got a little smile on his face. It's not much, but you can tell he's starting to gain his confidence. That's 2 threes in a row. He's got 6 points. 35-33. 7:30 to go in the second quarter. Jokic driving into the lane. He almost loses the basketball. He does lose the basketball. Caleb Martin down the floor all the way to the rim, and Caleb Martin with a sick reverse. 37-33. What a play by Caleb Martin. Don't know if that's SportsCenter top 10. That's fantastic. The steal all the way to the rim. He almost did a 180 and somehow scored with the reverse. That was fantastic. He scored the last 8 points for Miami. Caleb Martin, a streaky player, just like Duncan Robinson. Insane. What a play. Miami up by 4. Jokic down low to Jeff Green. To Jamal Murray with a shot. His shot's good. Jamal Murray with a step-back three of all step-back threes. Unbelievable. The offense has heated up for both teams. Murray with 11 points, 5 of 10 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. Caleb Martin, he knew his three was off. He shot a three. It was off the mark, 37-36. Bruce Brown down the floor, and they call a foul. So Denver will have a couple of free throws with a chance to tie and take the lead with these 2 free throws. But, man, the offense has picked up. The effort has picked up. The last couple minutes was some impressive basketball by both squads. What possession after possession, what plays being made by Caleb Martin for Miami, and then Jamal Murray. What a three. That is a fantastic three by Jamal Murray. They're showing the Caleb Martin layup again all the way around. Full extension. What a play. How did he get that shot to go? That was a really good play. Bruce Brown at the line. His first free throw is good. We're tied again. And that's a really good sign of a really good game when you've got a bunch of ties. There's been a lot of ties already, probably around 5 or 6 ties between both these teams. And the amount of effort both teams are displaying, there could be a lot more ties before this game is done. Bruce Brown will have another free throw left to potentially break the tie. He's a really solid free throw shooter. He is definitely a guy that has improved so much with the Denver Nuggets. I don't know if just playing next to Jokic makes you better. I feel like for a lot of these guys, being next to Jokic actually does help out these guys a lot. It really gives them confidence to be able to knock down shots when he sets you up so well. But Bruce Brown has been playing so much better with the Denver Nuggets than anywhere else he has been playing for in his career. They showed Caleb Martin. Caleb Martin only had 6 points in this series so far in the 2 games. He's got 8 tonight. Shows you that you can get hot out of nowhere. Just another depth piece for the Heat who can come into the game and perform. And he's coming in playing well in this game. Will give Miami a good chance to win if he keeps it up. Bruce Brown, his free throw was not pretty, but it went in. 38-37. Denver's 2 of 2 at the line. Miami's 5 of 7. Caleb Martin over to Jimmy Bucket. 6:20 to go in the second. His three's off the mark. Jokic, he's got the rebound. Still 38-37. Murray down the floor. Murray being guarded by Caleb Martin. Now Bam's extended on him. Kicks in the corner to Bruce Brown, and Bruce Brown's three is off the mark. Duncan Robinson, he's got the rebound. Down the floor with Jimmy Butler. Driving in. Butler kicks to Duncan Robinson. Robinson off the dribble. Good defense by Denver. Both teams are playing great defense. They're all over the offensive players. That's why it's a bit lower scoring than a game than you would think with the amount of great offensive plays we have seen. Butler had a shot, couldn't get it to go. Martin tried to tap it in. He could not as well. Denver back the other way. Aaron Gordon with the basketball. Trying to back down Robinson. Kicks outside to Jokic. 10 seconds on the shot clock. To Jamal Murray. A little screen by Jokic, and Jamal Murray up to 14 points. What a three by him, and there's a timeout on the floor. 5:36 to go in the second quarter. It's 41-37. And that little screen by Jokic, it's not much. And it's probably a play that would get overlooked for sure. But that is a beautiful screen. Just Jokic, a little bit of a screen off that dribble handoff, and it gets Murray freed up for the three. And see, with Murray's threat of being able to drive the basketball, you saw Bam kind of go with Jokic a little bit as well because he didn't want to leave him open. He was trying to maybe bid for Jamal Murray driving the basketball, and then Jamal Murray just pulls for three, knocks it down. That's the dangerous threat of the Denver Nuggets because their two stars can drive and they can shoot threes. It's so difficult to be able to guard them because one wrong move and you're leaving them wide open for three. And you stick to them too close to the three-point line, then they're going to blow right by you, get to the rim, lay it in, or dunk it home. It is very, very difficult to be able to guard the Denver Nuggets. They've got so many guys that can do so much, and none other than their two stars. But it's been back and forth. Neither team is really gaining momentum in this game. There's been also some momentum swings, but it's been very slight. There hasn't really been a moment in this game. There's been a full-blown momentum shift to Denver or the Heat. There's been, again, some moments where a team starts to play a little bit better, like that little Caleb Martin burst that the Heat had, and they got ahead by 4 points. But now Denver went on a little 8-0 run, called a timeout by Erik Spoelstra. Smart timeout by him. Erik Spoelstra's always been really good at calling timeouts. He knows when the game, potentially is going the wrong way. Doesn't want the game to get out of hand, especially because it's at home. If you want to keep your fans engaged, and the worst thing that could happen for Miami is to fall behind by a margin that gets the fans out of the game. Only being down by 4, no big deal. But if you fall behind by too much, the crowd's going to get disengaged, and then that will really hurt the Heat's chances and increase Denver's chances because the road team always gains confidence when the crowd goes silent for the home team. It's definitely a smart timeout by Erik Spoelstra, but we'll have to see what the Heat have up their sleeve out of the timeout. Both teams playing really solid basketball. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens final 5:36 of the second quarter and see which team will be leading at the half. Could be either team at this point. Jeff says Zeller for a flop. Way to go, Zeller. Yeah, that was a good acting job by Cody Zeller. I mean, that was incredible. Like, you can make an argument maybe Jokic got him a little bit, but that was not warranted of what his reaction was. I mean, he definitely fell to the ground. Jokic was like, what did I do? That's just one of those funny plays right there for sure. But, hey, sometimes even if a play is hilarious, and maybe it shouldn't have been called the way it was called, that's the way it is. I mean, that's why players do the things that they do. They exaggerate the side swipe. When someone has kind of like their hand on someone's arm and then they exaggerate going up in the air with it. Marcus Smart does that a lot. A lot of players do that. Russell Westbrook used to do it a lot back in the day. Definitely just one of those plays. You can't get too close to the offensive player or they're going to find a way to draw that foul and you get the ref's attention on it. Jeff says both teams want to win this game. They will fight to the end. I agree with you, Jeff. I really hope they do as well because when both teams are playing hard and it's a close game all the way to the end, it makes the game so much more important, so much bigger, and a lot more fun as well, and definitely ups the ante with the excitement factor. If it's a blowout, it just doesn't have that same feel. Pat Riley, they're showing him when he was a coach and as a player, it's crazy for sure how many championships that he has had or finals appearances that he's had, being a player and as a coach, and now above that as a GM. That's really cool for sure. And he's got some championships under his belt at the Heat for sure. That is crazy. Always good to have under your belt. 41-37, 5:20 to go in the second quarter. Heat trying to make a move to the top of the key. Again, Denver doing a great job of guarding all the way out to the three-point line. Butler gets in the lane. Good defense from Porter Jr., and that makes Butler miss the shot. It was just a little bit off. He almost had it, just couldn't get it to fall. But again, good defense. I'm really liking the effort on the defensive end by both these teams. If the defense wasn't there, if this was a regular season game, both teams would probably be in the 50s or 60s by now. But the defense is unreal. Jokic down low. Bam just did enough to alter that shot a little bit. The shot was a bit short, and the ball is going back the other way with the Heat. 4:40 to go in the second quarter. Jimmy Butler for 2, and his shot is good. 41-39, 2-point game, and Jimmy Butler in the mid-range is dangerous. You cannot leave him in the mid-range, especially once he's hit a few already, because he's going to keep hitting them. Butler with 12 points, only 2 rebounds. Probably needs up the rebounding, but he's doing a good job scoring the ball. Porter Jr., his shot's off the mark. Jokic tries to get the offensive rebound. He cannot. There's no foul as Jokic falls to the deck. Hope he's okay. I think he is. He's running down the floor. Lowry over to Butler. Butler trying to drive on Jamal Murray. Again, it's been a great matchup all series long. Butler still backing down Murray. Kicks to the outside. Caleb Martin over to Max Strus. Max Strus for three, right off the bench again for Max Strus coming back into the game, and he immediately knocks down a three, and Miami's back in front. There's been a lot of lead changes. Again, not really any team completely gaining the momentum here. That is fun for sure. Jamal Murray whips it over to Jokic at the top of the key. Jokic back to Jamal Murray in the lane, and Murray, they're going to call a foul on the Miami Heat. So Jamal Murray can potentially retake the lead for Denver with 2 free throws. It's been incredible. It's been a lot of ties and lead changes. Jeff says Murray, beautiful three. Murray is a three machine. I agree with you, Jeff. I mean, when Jamal Murray is on fire, when he's knocking down shots, there's not much you can do. Because, again, if you guard him too closely, he'll just blow by, get in the mid-range, knock down his shot. He can get to his spot almost at will. It is crazy. 42-42. Tie game after he hits the first free throw. 3:42 to go in the second quarter. It's been a fast-moving first half. Both teams playing some high-octane offense and some really solid defense to boot. Murray's second free throw, however, is off the mark. He's usually a really solid free throw shooter, but he was not able to knock down that shot right there. You got to make as many free throws as you can in big games like this because too many misses could come back to haunt you. Jimmy Butler with the ball. He's trying to size up Aaron Gordon. Back to Butler after he passed it to Lowry. Butler now on Murray. Now it's down low to Caleb Martin. What a reverse by Caleb Martin. He misses the shot, but Bam Adebayo with the putback slam. What a play by Bam Adebayo. Bam's had a lot of big dunks. That's fantastic. 11 points and 10 boards for Bam. He's already got a double-double. But that was a sweet play by Caleb Martin. Couldn't get it to fall, but that was a great dunk by Bam Adebayo. And then on the other end, Jamal Murray for three again. And then a turnover for Miami. So back the other way with Denver. They threw it away. That was a crazy pass. Caldwell Pope for three. And Caldwell Pope still just a little bit off. Jokic down low. They're going to call a foul on Miami. But what a sequence. Bam Adebayo's dunk was unbelievable. That was insane. They're showing it again. Caleb Martin looked like that reverse was going to go. And that would have been insane. But then Bam with the throwdown. That was insane. Over Jokic as well. You could have argued that Jokic fouled him. It looked like Jokic got him a bit on the arm, but Bam, he did not care. He slammed that basketball home. That was a great dunk by Bam. That previously gave the Heat the lead, but then Jamal Murray scored a three on the other. And again, lead change after lead change. It's been a fantastic first half. And we've got a timeout on the floor, 45-44. Jeff's is going back and forth, and it probably will go to the wire. I agree with you, Jeff, for sure. I mean, the way both these teams are playing, no team's gaining separation. I think the biggest lead has been like 6. But again, that makes for a good game. I mean, you don't want a team really to get ahead by too much, especially in a big game like this with the finals. Both teams just giving it all that they've got. I mean, Jokic on that board, I don't know if they're reviewing it to say if it wasn't a foul or not. But 2:49 to go in the second quarter. In the first half, 45-44 Denver. And right now, both teams are huddling up on the sideline trying to figure out their next play. I think the rest might be reviewing something, not 100% sure. But if it's free throws for Jokic, that's not a good sign for Miami. You don't want to put Jokic at the line. He's a really solid free throw shooter. You just don't want to give a guy free points. You want to be able to play straight up defense and just not give them, extra free throws. It's always nice, maybe to make them earn it at the line. You can say, well, at least they're earning at the line instead of getting an easy bucket. But you just do not want to give Jokic free throws. He's a really good free throw shooter. But I think that Jokic will be going to the line. 49 to go in the second quarter. Still waiting. It's taking a little bit of time, but I think he's about to go to the line. Jeff says, who knows, lots of flops tonight. That's funny for sure. That's a good one, Jeff. Jack says, boom, 3-pointer by Murray. That was a big three, Jackson. 100% Murray. That was a great shot. If he keeps shooting like that, Denver will have a great chance to win. Jokic is the first free throw, so it's 46-44. I mean, Jamal Murray, he is a guy that once he gets going, there's no stopping him again. He's a player that can just keep shooting the three over and over and over once he's feeling it. He can get cold as well. He's a little streaky, but he's not streaky in the traditional sense where he can just completely go ice cold. He can do a lot of other things as well, like get to the rim or get to the line when he's struggling a bit from the outside. But when he's hot from three, there's not much he can do. And tonight, he's hot from three. So Miami definitely needs to stick to him as much as possible. But Jokic, though, he's already with a borderline triple-double. He's got 12 points, 10 boards, 7 assists. Denver's up by 3 after he hits both free throws. Butler misses a mid-range two. Bam couldn't get the rebound. Jokic somehow ends up with it. And now you've got a big collision. Jokic kick to Aaron Gordon. And Aaron Gordon runs right into Gabe Vincent. I think they call a foul on Gabe Vincent. So I think that's the third foul on him. So they're going to have to bring Kyle Lowry back in. But Gordon did not see the pass from Jokic, and then he ran into Vincent. I don't know if that's a foul on Vincent. I mean, you can make an argument he was trying to go for the ball. I mean, yeah, I think maybe a little bit of a reach there, but he was just kind of caught in a bad spot. I mean, Gordon was barreling down the lane. There wasn't really much that he could do. Gordon, probably one of the worst free throw shooters for Denver. His first free throw's off the mark. He can hit him, and he's improved at the line, but he definitely is not a great free throw shooter. It's a bit of a weakness for him. But Gabe Vincent, though, with 5 points, only 12 minutes of action, and he's got 3 fouls. Erik Spoelstra has him on the bench, does not want him to pick up his 4th. Really tough for Vincent. All of his fouls have been really questionable. But sometimes that's just how it goes for you in games. Not all the calls are going to go your way. Gordon misses both free throws. That's a big missed opportunity for Denver. Gordon with 2 points, 5 boards, 3 assists. He's only 1 of 5 in the field. Gordon looks like he's struggling just a little bit. But the free throw line, you got to make your free throws. And Denver's already missed like 3 or 4. Butler, top of the key, driving into the lane for 2, and Jimmy buckets, knocks down the sweet mid-range shot. Again, Butler's feeling it. He is confident in this game, and he's got a lot more points in this first half than he's had in some previous first halves lately. He's got 14 points, only 6 of 15 from the field, not really efficient, but he is scoring at will a lot of the time in this game, so that's definitely a key for sure. I think that is more important for him to take a lot of shots and miss a lot than for him not to be aggressive and try to let other players score, especially when they are struggling a bit. Definitely, I think, smart by Jimmy Butler to be really aggressive in this game. Jamal Murray scores again down low. He's got 20 in this first half. He's doing a great job on the offensive end. Jamal Murray, if he keeps this up, again, Denver will be in great shape unless Jimmy Butler has more up his sleeve. He's driving in the lane. He's lurking in the paint for 2. His shot is short. Gordon with the board. Denver back the other way. 3-point game. $1:30 to go in the second quarter. Gordon to the rim, and Gordon with the slam dunk. Gordon might not be able to hit free throws sometimes, but he can sure dunk the basketball. What a play. 51-46. Bam driving in, but I think they call a foul on Denver. So no shot right there for Bam. I think they're going to call it on Gordon. But what a play. Gordon taking the ball up the floor, and nobody stopped him from getting to the rim. You got to get back in transition. You got to stop the guy from getting all the way to the rim, and there was no one in the paint. It was wide open for Gordon, and he just took advantage. And like Strus got him a bit on the arm as well. Could have been a foul. Wasn't too much. Refs did not call, but that, again, that's a great play by Gordon. I mean, be aggressive. Take the ball off the floor. Don't pass it to someone else if you've got that open lane. But Gordon now has 3 fouls, and Michael Malone, Wisely's taking him out of the game just like Erik Spoelstra did with Gabe Vincent. Don't want either player to pick up their 4th foul. Down low, Bam Adebayo driving in, and they're going to call a foul on Nikola Jokic. Bam Adebayo. So a good play, man. Jokic, he usually just lets Bam score, but I think he got him on the arm because Bam kind of pushed off Jokic a bit, and then he was trying to go for the block, and he accidentally got on the arm. Could have been a push off on Bam, but they did not call it on him. They called it on Jokic there. Bam with 11 points and 11 boards, and he's trying to add to that here. Really good game for Bam to have a double-double in the first half. The rebounds are really important because you don't want to let Jokic and Gordon and Porter Jr. dominate the glass. Miami, how they are going to be able to win the series, got to rebound. You got to be able to prevent the Nuggets from being able to control the glass. You got to get your own boards, and then you got to be able to, get your opportunities to shoot the open threes, get Butler going in the mid-range, Bam in the mid-range. That's how you're going to win. Bam at the line for a second free throw. He hits them both. So it's 51-48. Nice free throws by Bam. He's got 13 and 11. Nice first half. Murray with the ball. He's got 20 points in this first half. He's been great. We've got a minute to go in this fabulous first half of this game 3 of the 2023 NBA Finals. Jamal Murray over to KCP to Jokic down low. Jokic goes up strong. His shot's off the mark. There was tons of players down low for Miami. He's almost a quadruple team. And Jokic still almost scored, but Miami has the ball. Caleb Martin over to Butler. Butler's driving in on Jokic. Adebayo for 2, and Adebayo a little bit too strong right there. Had a great look down low. Just could not get it to fall. 30 seconds to go in the first half. You've got Jokic now, 12 points, 12 boards, 7 assists. That's a crazy stat line. Murray to Jokic. In the corner to Michael Porter Jr. His shot is off the mark. Caleb Martin with the board, but they're going to call a foul on the floor on Miami. What a break for Denver. 17 seconds left in the first half. The tide has been turning between Miami and Denver's been going back and forth, but it looked like Miami was starting to get a little bit of momentum back, but then they get a foul down low. Was it? I think it was. They called it on Caleb Martin for pushing Jokic in the back. Did Jokic exaggerate it? Probably, but that's a good play by Jokic. He did get pushed in the back, and he, insinuated by showing that he was pushed, falling to the floor, and they called the foul. Again, a little bit of acting. That's what a lot of NBA players do, whether it's right or not. But he did get pushed. Caleb Martin did push him a little bit. Jokic, though, flopping to the floor. Jokic definitely sold the foul. His first free throw is good, so it's 52-48. In the last 25 NBA finals, Jokic is the third player with 10 points, 10 boards, and 5 assists and a half. Tim Duncan and LeBron James are the only two other players to do it. That is great company for sure. Jokic knocks down the second, so it's 53-48. 5-point game, 14 points, 12 boards, 7 assists for Jokic. That's a great first half stat line. Most players would definitely dream to have a first half stat line like that. 5 seconds left in the quarter. Miami trying to get it back to a one-possession game. Can they? Butler, top of the key. Driving on Murray. Kicks to the outside to Lowry, and Lowry's three is in and out. And that is the end of the first half. It's 53-48. It was a back-and-forth game most of the way. A lot of lead changes, a lot of ties. Miami led for a lot of the first half, but Denver took back the lead. Murray with 20, Jokic with 14 points, Butler with 14, Bam with 13. But Denver has a 5-point lead at the half. That will probably give them some confidence to be able to potentially carry that over in the second half and steal one back from the Heat at their place, just like Miami did at Denver in Game 2. RC says both teams won it. The first half has been so fire. I agree with you, RC. It's been a great first half. It's the type game you want. Both teams are giving it 110%. You just don't want one team to be going out there and playing like it's a preseason game or just a regular season game, not a game that really has any implications at all. Both teams are playing hard because this game should be higher scoring than this. I don't really think it's only 53-48 because the offense has necessarily been poor. It's because the defensive intensity by both teams is off the charts, and that is what's preventing both teams from really getting this game to be too high scoring. It's more of a lower scoring game because of the defensive effort. There's been a lot of hands in players' face. There's been a lot of fouls. They're making players earn it at the line. There's been some missed free throws. Maybe that's anxiety. Who knows? Maybe it's because, like in Denver's case, they missed some free throws because maybe they're on the road. It's tough to shoot free throws on the road. But these guys are NBA players. They're veteran players. Even though for Denver, a lot of these guys have not been this far before, but still really interesting for sure. But definitely, I do think that overall, looking at the first half, both teams should be proud where they're at. Neither team's in a bad spot. It's only a 5-point game. In Miami, you would probably say only being down by 5 and the fact that they are at home, they would have a better chance to be able to make it up than if Denver was down by 5 at the half. Even though within the NBA and the amount of scores that teams can do in such a hurry, I wouldn't say a 5-point lead is really safe for either team whatsoever. Victor Rudolph Farrar, thank you so much for stopping by. I don't understand why Nuggets can't use Reggie Jackson and Murray at this point. Miami put shooters inside the court right now. Just saying. I mean, that's a good point. Reggie Jackson's a solid player. He's a guy that's very forgotten about, really, with Denver. I mean, he's a guy that's been in the NBA for a while now. I mean, he can play. He's got ball handling skills. He can shoot the basketball. I don't really know why they don't play him more either, but I just think that Christian Brown, they really like his ability. Jeff Green, he's such a veteran player. Bruce Brown, they already play him a lot. I just think that's why Reggie Jackson does not really crack the rotation. But I do think that giving him some spot minutes might be smart, kind of like how Miami's been doing with Hayden Highsmith last couple of games. They haven't played him tonight yet, but still Hayden Highsmith's played the last couple of games, and he's actually had some success. So like you said, maybe Reggie Jackson could be used more, but really do appreciate you for stopping by, Victor, and hopefully it will be a fantastic game the rest of the way. Should be great. Gigster Squids is close game, exciting matchup. Thanks for stopping by, Gigster Squid. I agree with you 110%. It is a close game, a very exciting game for sure. RC says in Jamal Murray, that's the guy Miami really has to worry about. Jamal Murray is, again, one of those players that is so overlooked in the NBA. But I don't think that will be for much longer, especially if Denver wins this final series. Because if Jamal Murray had never got hurt, Jamal Murray was rapidly becoming a star. That's how good he was playing. That's how, his improvement from year to year in the NBA was progressing. He was kind of on the Devin Booker track, even though maybe you can argue Devin Booker got there a bit quicker. I don't know. You can really go either way with it, but Jamal Murray was doing that good. He was fantastic, putting up 40 and 50 points in the bubble. Granted, you can make an argument that Denver wasn't as complete of a team back then, and that's why Jamal Murray was having to score so much. So it was kind of like Booker with the Suns, and now that Booker has more talent around him, he didn't have to score as much. Now that Denver has more talent around, Murray doesn't have to score as much. But it took Murray some time. I mean, when he got hurt, that set him back. And for some players, it takes them a long time to regain their footing. It takes them a long time to start playing at a high level yet again. And for Jamal Murray, I would say that he did a really solid job. He did the right thing staying out as long as he did. And once he started to find his way and get his confidence back on the floor, the momentum returned and he started to improve as the season went along. And I think that's the biggest thing that's got to be, credited to Jamal Murray, is the fact that he didn't just rush into it again. He didn't rush right into being the guy, on Denver. And even though Jokic is technically the guy, like the secondary guy, Murray just eased his way back in. And some people are like, oh, is Murray ever going to be the player that he was? I think that Jamal Murray has that. Jamal Murray is going out there and he is playing extremely well. And he is definitely showing that he is one of the best guards in the NBA. Top 10 guard probably at this point in the league. There's so many great guards, but Murray is that good. He's that clutch. And he's definitely a guy that if he gets a ring this year with Jokic, I think his stock will skyrocket in the NBA. For sure. Jackson says, if the Nuggets win it all, don't be surprised Murray is the finals MVP. That could happen, Jackson. That really could happen. If he plays as well as he's playing right now, then Jamal Murray could win finals MVP. Jokic, it'd be really difficult not to give it to Jokic because of the amount of triple doubles and great games that he's had. Because you look at game 2. They didn't win game 2. But Jokic at 41. Murray only like 18 in that game. Wasn't one of Murray's better games. Murray already has more points in the first half of this game than he had in the entire game last time. So that shows you, how good Murray can be when he can put up more points than he had in his previous game in the first half. He's got 20 in this half. He had 18 in the previous game. But Jokic had 41 points. In this game, he's almost already at a triple-double. If Denver does win it all, it's probably going to be one of those two guys, unless somehow like KCP comes out of nowhere or Bruce Brown, something like that, and just plays really well for like 4 games in a row or something like that. But it's probably going to be Murray or Jokic. It'd be really hard to spurn one for the other because they're both great and they both do so much for the team. I don't know. If Murray, though, has such an impact on, them winning the series overall, then I do think that he should win it. But like you said, Jackson, I wouldn't be surprised, but it's probably going to be Jokic or Murray regardless because they definitely are two of the best players in the NBA, and they are, both the guys doing the most for Denver, playing at as high of a level as they are. The other guys, they need to step up if they want to get into consideration and if they want to win the series because they're not getting as much production as some of the other guys. Caldwell Pope, Bruce Brown, Porter Jr., Gordon, all great players, but definitely kind of struggling a little bit compared to where they were a couple games ago. RC says, only talk sports. Jokic threw himself on the ground. Yeah, RC, that's funny. Yeah, Jokic, he got pushed a little bit. I'm not saying that Caleb Martin didn't push him at all. He got him a little bit, but yeah, Jokic definitely he definitely acted a lot on that one. He really showcased the little push that he had, kind of like with Cody Zeller. Cody Zeller, he got barely brushed by Jokic, and then he just flopped to the floor. Both players did it right there. It is crazy, but definitely you can't have an NBA Finals and the NBA playoffs without a little bit of acting for sure. Victor says, I think the series will go up until Game 7. The series is exciting. I agree. It's been really exciting, and a lot of people didn't think it would be. And we'll have to see at the end of the day. You never know. Denver can find a way to win the next 3 games. And then the series will end up in people's mind thinking it was kind of a bust series. But at the beginning of the series, when Boston lost to Miami, a lot of people said that the series probably wasn't going to be that great because Denver had more depth than Miami. And I agree with that. They do. But Miami has been playing the underdog card and the underdog role so well. And their guys are just going out there and believing. They know they're the underdog, but they're playing so hard and so well that they're not fazed by anything. And that's why they're here as well. Even if you could say, again, there were some circumstances that helped them get here, but they've been playing so well. And I think that looking at the series, it has the chance, Victor, to go to a Game 7. You're 100% correct. It does. But I just think it's ironic that at the beginning of the series, no one really thought that. Probably if Denver was up 2-0 right now, that probably wouldn't be the case. But since Miami did win one at Denver, that already makes it where the series is going to last one more game. And it could make it last even more if, Denver is able to win one here in Miami, maybe in this game or the next. Because if Miami wins the next two, all they'll have to do is win one more game. But if Denver wins one here, Miami wins one, that will split the series 2-2. And then things are really going to get interesting after that. And I know that a lot of people hope that the finals last as long as possible. We'll have to see. Both teams are playing really well. They could go all the way to a game 7. And then we're going to have the NBA draft. It's going to be really crazy there. And then already some off-season storyline is going to be having Chris Paul reportedly has been waived by the Suns. Where is he going to go? How much longer is he going to be in the NBA? Where are the Suns going to move from here? So many question marks there. A lot of stuff's going to be happening. Definitely we'll try to cover as much of that as possible on this channel. Definitely try to keep up with the NBA along with college sports. It's a lot of fun, but I really do appreciate you guys for being here. But the finals, they have delivered so far, and hopefully that they keep delivering, because a fun finals is much better than a bad finals for sure. A bad finals is better than no finals, but definitely you can't beat when the finals is at its peak, and it's been great so far. Jeff says great first half. I agree with you, Jeff. Great first half. Both teams played hard. Definitely cannot beat the effort by both teams. Jeff said it had a little bit of everything. Threes, great defense, players on the floor, lots of flops. Yeah, I mean, that literally sums it up. I mean, literally, as much as I've already described the first half, talking about everything that's happened, basically you can just sum it up with what you just said. There was a lot of threes. Both teams were raining threes. There was a lot of great defense. That's why the score is a little bit lower than potentially it could have been if the defense wasn't so intense. There was a lot of players diving on the floor for loose balls, getting in there, scrapping for the balls, a lot of tops, a lot of everything there, and then a lot of flops. Both teams acting a little bit, trying to get the rest to blow that whistle, get to the stripe. But there was some big highlight play. That Bam Adebayo dunk, they're showing it again. That was insane. If Jokic hadn't have been there, that would have been a great putback dunk anyway. Dunks are fun. Dunks are fun for sure. I know a lot of people definitely back in the day were happy when they allowed the dunk to exist in the NBA, but definitely dunks are very fun to watch. But when you got somebody guarding you at the rim like Jokic was with Bam, he contested that dunk, and Bam scored over him. That was a great dunk for sure, and he dunked it with authority to really showcase the power right there on that dunk, and definitely showing how hard he's playing. Nana says a very exciting first half. Can't wait to see how the game ends. I agree with you, Nana, for sure. The anticipation is going to be huge for this second half. We've got a few more minutes before the second half starts, but I'm sure either way it should be a great second half regardless of who wins. Definitely hard to predict who will win. I know you'd be like Denver, they're up by 5 right now, but Miami, every time Denver's gone ahead by 4 or 6 points, Miami does come back, and they've got their home crowd on their side. And Jimmy Butler, he's been playing fairly solid in this first half, so you would think that's going to carry over. And all it takes is maybe Duncan Robinson, Max Strus to can a couple threes, and Miami's set. Miami's in pretty good shape. Bam's been doing a good job as well. So Denver's not out of the woods. Even though they're up by 5, they're definitely not out of the woods. They're going to have to keep playing with the same amount of intensity as they were before. And if they can get some more production out of Caldwell, et cetera, Denver can win. But Miami just need more out of Butler, need more out of Bam, and then hope one of Caleb Martin or two of Caleb Martin, Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, Duncan Robinson really start to play even better than they were in that first half. Maybe more out of Caleb Martin. He seemed really confident. He had that quick 8 points. If he can continue to play hard, then he can really be an asset for Miami. Caleb Martin's one of those guys that you can just tell when he's in the zone, when he has momentum. It's not like when he's not, he doesn't play hard, or he's not engaged, or he's not, contributing to the team. He still does, even when he's not really contributing on the offensive end. But once he gets a few shots to fall, that's like that one game he had like 28 points for Miami. And he did most of that in the first 3 quarters. He kind of cooled off a bit toward the end of that game. It's just when he's feeling it, he's feeling it. And you got to guard him. If you're Denver and you see Caleb Martin hit a couple shots, you got to guard him. You can't leave him open. I mean, that's just definitely playing a little bit with fire. You cannot leave the guy open when he starts knocking down shots. So it's crazy for sure, but a great first half, entertaining. Sure hope the second half is entertaining as well, but really appreciate you, Nana, for being here. It means so much. Victor says, agree with you, RC. Murray is one of the underrated players who can burst anytime he gets his rhythm. 100%, and that's what makes Murray, I think, more dangerous than he actually would be if he was a bit more consistent, because sometimes you forget how good he is. I mean, that's the thing with Murray. He doesn't go out there and consistently put up 35 to 40. But it's the threat that he could do it. He could do it if you leave him open too many times and he starts knocking down some shots and he gets in a rhythm, then Murray is a guy that can go for 40. Murray's a guy that can score a lot in a hurry. I mean, he had 30 points in the first half against one of the games against the Lakers. I mean, that was incredible. He was on fire, and then he kind of cooled off in the second half. Jokic took over in the second half. Denver won that game. I mean, if you're the Miami Heat, it's not too bad only giving up 20 in the first half because Murray's able to do more than that. And they better hope that Murray's not feeling it in the second half, because if he is, and the rest of the guys for Denver start to really get going, Miami could be in a bit of trouble. But this is the inverse. I mean, it's all a lot of what ifs. I mean, if it's a lot of what ifs for both teams. I mean, if you have Miami start to knock down threes at a high level in the fourth, third, late third, early fourth quarter, like they were in game 2. That's why Miami won, because Duncan Robinson started knocking down threes. Max Strus did it in the first quarter, but Duncan Robinson did it in the fourth quarter. Butler started to make a couple shots. That's why Miami won. But with Denver, if Murray is knocking down a lot of shots, and then you get Caldwell Pope, Bruce Brown, Porter Jr., Gordon going, then they win. I mean, it's really just whoever does what they need to do to win, whether it's Miami or it's Denver, and whoever does it better, because both teams can play well, and somebody's got to lose. Somebody has to lose. I kind of felt game 2 was that way, because especially with Jokic playing as well as he was on the offensive end, it carried Denver, and I think they did enough to win, but Miami just had one too many guys play too well. In Denver, it was just one too many not enough guys to play well to win, and that's why they lost by 3. It's just that much of a difference. They only lost by 3 points. But this game right here is just going to come out of the same thing. It's which team has more players playing well and which team does not. And I think that will be the key. I mean, it really is which star for either team plays better, whether it's Butler for Miami or if it's Murray and Jokic for Denver. It's really interesting. It puts a lot of intrigue on it. It's going to be a great second half. It's about to start. 5-point lead for Denver, 53 to 48. They're showing Jeff Green talking to his teammates. And again, that's what a veteran can do. When you got a veteran that's out there, seen a lot, and basically seen everything that can come your way in the NBA, that he can get some of the younger guys, sit them aside and try to, calm them down, tell them what, possibly the team needs to do. It's a really good thing to have, a luxury to have a guy like Jeff Green on your team. At the age of 36, a veteran that can still play at a high level. He's not the star anymore. He knows his role on the team, but he is a guy that definitely helps out the other guys for the Denver Nuggets. A really good player to have on the team. Same thing with Miami. I think that you look at Kevin Love, Kyle Lowry. Those guys are kind of veterans as well. So both teams, they have that veteran leadership. So it's crazy. We'll have to see which teams' veterans do better as well. But the second half has begun. 53-48. Denver with a 5-point lead. They have the ball trying to extend their lead. Jokic in the mid-range over Bam, and Jokic just starts out the second half like he did the first. Making a score right there, making a bucket. That's a fantastic shot. Jokic, again, makes it look so easy. It's much harder than what he makes it look like. Max Strus, 4-3. His shot's off the mark. 55-48. Miami's going to need more of those shots to fall, especially if Denver starts getting on a roll. You do not want the Nuggets to get ahead by too much. Miami, again, they're a team that is capable of coming back. You just don't want Denver to get ahead by too much. Gordon down low. His shot was halfway down and out. He just could not get that one all the way to go down. Had a great look right there. Gabe Vincent with the ball. Swings it to Bam. Back to Vincent. Back to Bam. Down low. And I think that there is a foul on Denver. That's one of those fouls away from the rim, away from the ball. You just don't want to have it, but that is what unfortunately happened for the Denver Nuggets right there. You got that foul. You just gotta not foul. You just cannot foul away from the rim if you can help it, because it's just not necessary. Those fouls can really hurt you. 2 guys were on the bench with 3 fouls, and most of them were petty. And Aaron Gordon and Gabe Vincent. Max Strus to the lane. He misses a layup. In Denver, they've got the ball with numbers. Porter Jr. down the floor. Kicks to Jamal Murray. To the rim. Kicks outside to Porter Jr. for 3. His shot was in and out. Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. have had back-to-back shots that were all the way in and just could not get it to fall. Now you got Jimmy Butler in the paint where his bread and butter is. He kicks in the corner to Max Strus again, and Max Strus airballs a 3. He's a little bit too far on that shot. Max Strus is not airball that many threes. He was playing well in the last game, but he could not get that shot to fall. He's a bit ice cold right now. Jokic driving in the lane. Jokic to Gordon for the alley-oop. He didn't slam it home, but that was a great pass by Jokic, a great finish by Gordon. It's a 9-point game. 57-48. Miami needs a bucket. Largest lead of the game for either team. Love to Butler, and there's a steal. What a steal by Jamal Murray. Down the floor, Murray to Caldwell Pope, and Caldwell Pope just can't buy a bucket. But Jamal Murray with the offensive rebound. Now he's fighting for it down low with Kevin Love, and they call it tie. So both players are going to have to jump the ball up in the air to see who gets the ball. Murray's holding his hand. Hopefully he's okay. You definitely don't want to see him banged up if you are a Denver Nuggets fan. But definitely Miami's starting to fold a bit. Miami's going to have to find a way to make a shot or two because Denver could have already been up by 12, 14 points right now if they had gotten a couple more shots to fall. Caldwell Pope, Porter Jr., and Gordon have all had 3 shots that could have went in. They're only up by 9 right now, but Miami, they're probably going to call a timeout if they can't hit a shot soon. Murray and Strus to tip. Murray kicks it outside to Jokic. Back to Murray. Murray's driving into the lane. Inside to Gordon for the dunk, and there's a timeout. Spoelstra is already on the court. Before that dunk, it seemed to have gone in. Erik Spoelstra, you could tell he is infuriated. I had a feeling that timeout was coming if Denver scored again, and Spoelstra is not happy. But Murray, what an unselfish pass. He passed the ball in the air as he was going out of bounds. That is a talented play. Kicks it to Gordon, and Gordon again pulverizes the rim like he normally does. That was a great dunk. But Denver now, they had a 5-point lead at the half, and it's now up to 11. A 6-0 run by the Nuggets has prompted Erik Spoelstra to call a timeout, and he's definitely going to try to settle down his ball club. Because if he cannot, again, Denver, they got up by a decent amount in game 2, and Miami was able to come back, and that was on the road. So definitely Miami's not out of the game. They've got the home crowd again. They are fine, only being down by 11 right now. There's still plenty of time left in this game. You have around 20 minutes to go, so it's not really an issue there, but you just don't want Denver to keep gaining confidence and be able to get ahead by like 15 points, 16, 17 points, and then you're just kind of getting to a point where you're kind of just too far behind. And it doesn't mean you can't come back overall, even if you're down by that much, but it's just going to really, hamper your chances and not give you a really good chance to win because of the fact that the Denver Nuggets are kind of in cruise control. And Denver's a team, again, when they go up by a certain margin, it's hard to get it back because that means that they're playing with high intensity, they're in rhythm. And it's one of those things that it's really hard to break a team that's in rhythm, especially when a bunch of guys are scoring. And right now, Denver, it's still been mostly Murray and Jokic, but they're starting to get Gordon involved. Once he starts to slam a couple of dunks home, he can maybe start to hit some shots. You just see Denver starting to pull away a bit. Good timeout by Erik Spoelstra. But we'll have to see if Miami can respond. The home crowd's gotten kind of quiet. Just the tide's kind of turning a bit. It kind of felt like Miami at the end of that first half in the second quarter that they had a couple of moments where they almost were able to get that lead back. But Denver led by 5. And again, that maybe gave Denver the confidence that, hey, we're quarter and go on a big one and try to be able to extend this lead. They're doing it so far. Up by 11 again, a good timeout by Erik Spoelstra, but he's going to have to find a way to settle his team down because if not, Miami could be in some trouble. And plus, Denver, they lost on their home court in Mile High Arena. That's not something that Denver does very often, and maybe they want to get it back at Miami. That could be fueling them. You can tell Jokic and Murray are engaged. There's been several plays where Jimmy Butler, it doesn't really matter who it is, several guys from Miami have driven in the lane, and then there's a guy on the weak side to get a steal. For Denver, that was a sweet steal by Jamal Murray on the other end of the floor. That was great. And they went all the way to the rim, and they got a score. That's how you score. Get in transition is always a good way to get easy points. Turn your defense into offense. That's how you get scores. It's great to be able to score in the half court on the offensive end, but if you get steals and you can get out in transition, get some fast break points, there's no other better way to score than with a fast break point. That can really get your crowd going if you're at home, but when you're on the road, that can really silence a crowd. And Denver has done that right now. We'll have to see if they can't keep up this leader. Will Miami make a run? But you've got the ball being inbounded, and Miami scores. Jimmy buckets for 2, 59-50, and that stops the 6-0 Denver Nuggets run to start the half. Finally, Miami gets on the board in the second half. Big shot by Butler. That was a great inbounds pass. 9:20 to go in the third quarter. And there's a steal. Miami's giving it back to Denver. Strus to Butler for 2. What a pass by Max Strus. And now it's a 7-point game, 59-52. Butler with 18 points, 8 of 18 from the field. I guess Eric Spoelstra had something up his sleeve. Those were great back-to-back plays. Great steal as well. Jokic in the lane, though, and Jokic to the rim. You just can't keep Jokic down. You get a couple of plays on him, scoring on him, and then he just comes right back around and scores on his own. Murray almost with the steal, and there's no foul call. They're not going to say anything at all, no over and back or anything. They're going to keep the ball in play. Miami has it, but almost a steal by Murray. It was a good effort nonetheless. Bam in the mid-range. He knocks down the 2, 7-point game again. Getting the crowd back involved a little bit. Bam, that's his signature mid-range shot. Probably needs to keep shooting it if he can. 15 points, 10 board for Bam, 6 of 13 from the field. Jokic with the ball where he's been stellar in this game. Trying to make a move. He thought about shooting the mid-range. He's driving on Kevin Love. Goes up strong, and he scores over Kevin Love off his back foot, looking like the one-legged fadeaway at Dirk Nowitzki. That was a fantastic shot by Jokic. He's got an arsenal of moves. 20 points, 12 boards, 8 assists for the other, and he misses a mid-range shot. Murray with the rebound. 7:50 to go in the third quarter. 9-point lead for Denver. Crowd definitely going up and down, and Loudon is trying to stay with their heat, but you can just tell that they keep trying to get their team going, but Denver just keeps scoring. And again, right there, Jamal Murray misses it too, gets his own miss, and he lays it in, and that quiets the crowd again. 65-54. What a play by Murray. Again, sticking with that effort on display. Missing a shot, getting it back, and scoring. That's a great play. Butler to Kevin Love, and Kevin Love cashes home the 3, 65-57. Good pass by Butler. Good shot by Kevin Love. 8-point game, 65-57. Again, the crowd just keeps going from hopeful to kind of quiet to hopeful. Keeps going back and forth. 7 to go in the third. You got Jamal Murray off the dribble. Bam's on it. That's a matchup advantage for Jamal Murray. Now it's down to Jokic being guarded by Gabe Vincent. And Jokic for 2. There's not much that Gabe Vincent can do there. He's given up almost a foot of height. 6:50 to go in the third, and Jokic for that soft touch yet again. That was a really good play by Jokic, showcasing all of his moves right there. Bam at the top of the key. Miami down by 10. Gabe Vincent for 3. His shot's off the mark. So the Miami Heat, they really need some of these threes to fall if they're going to be able to cut into this Denver lead, and they're just a little bit cold right now. Jokic kicks to Jamal Murray with a step back to Murray. Shots off the mark. Porter Jr. fighting for it on the deck, down low, and I think that they call a top. Wow, there was like 3 guys fighting for the ball. Again, I love the effort from both teams. It's incredible. Gabe Vincent, though, on that shot. Missing it right there. That's a big miss. I mean, you got to make that shot. And then you got Jokic on the other end scoring on Gabe Vincent. That's a bad sequence for Gabe Vincent. But he's a really resilient player. He can really turn it around. So we'll have to see if he can turn the last couple of possessions into something better in the next couple. Now, Miami gets the ball on the tip. They win the tip. Gabe Vincent has the basketball. Kicks it over to Bam Adebayo, to Kevin Love, 4-3. And Kevin Love this time is off the mark. He could not go back-to-back on three-point makes. And Miami saves it. Strus kicked it to Porter Jr., but Porter Jr. was off balance. He kicked it to Love. So Miami's got it back with a chance to score. 5:50 to go in the third. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Butler to Kevin Love again. And Love, he bricked that 3. His three-point shooting percentage is going down a little bit. He was starting out hot in this game, but he's starting to miss a little bit. Don't blame him for shooting it, though. He was open. But it is what it is. Miami, again, down by 10, and they really need to start finding a way to get inside if they're not able to hit these threes. Aaron Gordon down low, there's a foul. So Aaron Gordon will have some free throws, but definitely Miami is a team that can fall in love with the 3, just like Boston does occasionally. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you're not hitting the 3s, you got to be able to down the lane, get fouled, get some free throws, build your confidence that way. because if you're not hitting your threes, all you're going to do is keep putting yourself in a deeper hole until maybe eventually you, with the hope that you can start knocking down your threes to get back in the game, but it could be too little too late. Aaron Gordon's first free throw is off the mark. Aaron Gordon is 0 of 3 at the line. There are not that many NBA players that are going to be 0 of 3 at the line of the game. Gordon really needs to find a way to knock down at least this free throw here to be 1 of 4 and not have Denver missing too many free throws. Again, that could come back to haunt. They really need to knock these down if they want to win. Gordon's second free throw is up, and this one actually does drop. So he's 1 of 4, 25% at the stripe, 68-57, 5:30 to go in the third. Butler with the basketball. Miami going through another little mini drought. They need buckets. They need shots to go. They need free throws. Bam. Mid-range. Kicks to Strus. Can Strus get anything going? He's been cold in this game. He almost turns it over, but Butler saves it from going out of bounds. Butler to Strus. Strus off the dribble for 2. His shot's just a little bit short, and Aaron Gordon has the board. Going back the other way. Gordon backing down Strus. Kicks outside to Jamal Murray with Bam on. Again, that is a matchup advantage for Murray. Kicks to Jokic. He's on Vincent again. Jokic kicks to Caldwell Pope. Back to Murray. What exquisite passing by Denver. Murray with a 3. His shot's off the mark. And then Porter Jr. has the ball down low. Porter Jr. Gordon tips it in. Gordon tips it back home. What a play by Gordon. You had Jokic, Gordon, and Porter Jr. all down low fighting for that offensive board, and they got it to go. I have no idea why Jokic keeps getting switched over on to Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent does not need to be on Jokic. He's going to score almost every single time. Jimmy Butler, though, responds with a 3 of his own, 70-60. Big shot for Butler. He has not been hitting a lot of threes lately. That is big to get Miami within 10. But just as I say that, Nikola Jokic responds with a 3, 73-60. What can Jokic not do? He's so fantastic on the offensive end. He's so great at almost anything you can ask a player to do on the offensive end. Pass, rebound, and score. You can say the defense is a bit weak, but he's defending on the other end. Blocks, bam. So he just had a fantastic block on the defensive end. Ball goes out of bounds off of Jokic. But, man, Jokic is playing so well right now. Jeff says, I'm ready. Going to be fun for the second half for sure. It's been a good second half, but Denver is starting to build their lead. They're up by 13, and they're getting shots to fall by a variety of players, whereas Miami struggling to shoot right now from the outside. Butler just hit a 3, but see, Gabe Vincent just missed one. These are shots Miami's been hitting all playoff long, but not tonight. They cannot get these shots to fall, and Denver's really quieting the crowd. Denver keeps this up. They will be escaping Miami with the win. Bruce Brown with the ball. Driving in the lane. Kicks to Jokic. Jokic with Lowry on him. Again, Jokic getting switched on all of the short guys for the Heat. It makes no sense. And Jokic driving in, and he's fouled with 4 seconds on the shot clock. That's a bailout foul. Lowry's upset, but they call a foul. There's just not much they can do. I mean, look at Lowry. What can he do? You've got Lowry and Gabe Vincent double-teaming Jokic. Yeah, Lowry got him on the arm, but there's nothing they can do. Jokic has the ball like a foot over their head. And Jokic will have 2 free throws. And again, he is a solid free throw shooter, but Eric Spoelstra needs to find a way to get other players switched over on Jokic. I mean, Jimmy Butler should probably be the shortest guy that does. Man, Cody Zeller, those guys can, but just not have Kyle Lowry and Gabe Vincent on him. But Jokic up to 25 points. He does miss the first free throw, but now he's got 26. He hits the second. He's 3 or 4 at the line this game. Not too bad. 74-60, 14-point lead for Denver. It's their largest of the game. Miami in danger. 3:30 to go in the third. Lowry to Butler. That's a good shot. They need more of that. Lowry passing it to Jimmy Buckets with the nice mid-range jumper. They need more shots like that if they're going to find a way to get back in this game. 3:10 to go in the third. Jokic to Christian Brown is into the game for the Denver Nuggets. He's been really solid in these playoff games. That's why Michael Malone is entrusting him with major minutes. Bruce Brown off the dribble. Tried to kick it down low to Gordon, and the shot was never going to happen because it was a steal by the Heat. The Miami's had 7 double-digit comebacks in these playoffs, so they can do it. They've been a team that's capable of coming back. But it's not going to happen right there with Lowry missing a 3. It almost dropped in off the bounce, but just could not happen. Caldwell Pope down the lane. Kicks to Bruce Brown to Gordon. Gordon driving in on Lowry. Again, another height disadvantage for Lowry. And then you've got Christian Brown for 2. He's looking for an and 1. He's not going to get it, but he scores nonetheless. 76-62. 2:30 to go in the third quarter. 44 points in the paint for Denver, 24 for Miami. That right there is the difference. Denver is destroying Miami in the paint. They're getting whatever they want, whenever they want inside. Lowry driving in. Jokic on, kicks outside to Vincent. Vincent misses a two. Jokic with the board, fighting for everything. Look at the effort from Denver. A score here could put them up by over 5 possessions. Caldwell Pope for 2. And finally, Kentavious Caldwell Pope knocks down a shot. That's the first in a long time. And when you're up, sometimes everybody can join the party. It makes it easier to make shots when you're winning a game. And Denver, with their largest lead, it just keeps on growing. 78-62. 1:59 to go in the third quarter, and Miami is in a world of trouble. They're not completely out of the game. There's still time left, but definitely they're running out of time. That is not a good sign at all for the Heat. Jeff says, what a game. Both teams playing really hard. I agree with you. It has been a great game, despite the fact that now Denver is now up by 16 points. It still has been a really solid game, and I don't think that the Heat are done until you could say maybe they're down by this much with like 3 or 4 to go. Miami's been a team, like they said, with 7 double-digit comebacks. They have it in them. They are a team with that mentality, that DNA of we can come back. Even though we are the underdog, even though we are down big, we can still come back if we just play our game, try to chip away at the lead. But you're starting to get to that point in the game where it's going to have to happen really soon, because the fourth quarter is right around the corner. There's only 2 minutes to go in this third quarter. And if Miami's still down by this much at the start of the fourth quarter, there's still going to be enough time, but it just psychologically makes it harder. Like if Miami cuts this to around like 11 or 12 to start the fourth quarter, maybe that would help them be able to knock down a couple shots to start the fourth, get it to around 6 or 7. Maybe they'd have a shot, but I don't know if Miami's going to have a great shot if they're still down by 16 at the end of the third quarter. Denver's in really good shape, but you cannot lax up. You cannot slack off and allow Miami to get back in the game. It's going to be interesting. We'll have to see for sure. But I, again, really do appreciate all you guys for being here. It's been a really solid game 3 of the 2023 NBA Finals. We're running out of games for sure, but it's been a great ride, a great journey. These games have been awesome. And again, whoever wins, history will be made. So there's a lot of cool stuff on the horizon. And again, with modern day sports, the off season is a lot longer than it used to be. You talk about once the season was over, people outside of like, diehard fans that really talk about sports all year long, people just did not really talk about sports, as much like in the off season. But now you look at college sports, people are talking about the portal happening all off season long. There's tons of stuff going on there. And then in the pros, you got trades happening, just, tons of stuff going on. There's just news everywhere. People like to follow the summer league and some of these summer tournaments they have, like the TBT. It's crazy for sure. There's just a lot of stuff going on in the sports world. Cannot wait to cover it, but really do appreciate you guys for being here. It's going to be a really interesting end to this game to see if Miami has a run in them like they've had in so many games. It's almost become cliche at this point. Is Miami going to come back? They've had a ton of games where they were down big, looked like they were done, and then they just find a way to creep back into a game and find a way to win. And they're just looking back like, how did they do it? How did they come back and win? They were down by so much. So again, Denver, you just cannot be comfortable with your lead. Keep trying to extend it. If Denver can get this up to a 20, 22-point lead, that might be enough for them. But still, where they're at right now, they're in great shape, but just cannot get comfortable. RC says Miami looking really lethargic. Oh, what happened to my good game? Laughing out loud. That's funny, RC. I agree with you. It was a great game, and maybe it still could be. But like you said, Miami is starting to just kind of slow down. The intensity's not there like it was in the first half. Which, again, when you're not giving the intensity, you're not going to win. Look at Denver. They're giving the intensity every single possession. And shots fall when you're playing hard. I know that you still got to make the shots, but when you're playing hard, shots do tend to fall a little bit easier. Like you said, Miami just seems a little bit slow, a little step slow. They're going to have to find a way to get it back if they want to win. Jimmy Butler down low. He's fouled on a shot. Looks like he's going to have a couple of free throws. I think they're going to call that foul on Jokic. He's saying that he didn't do anything on that play. I think he's trying to make sure the foul is on him, which it is. But Cody Zeller's back into the game for the Heat. and Duncan Robinson and Caleb Martin. So Eric Spoelstra trying to go with some of the other guys, see if they can provide a spark. They're showing Jokic in this series, he's been averaging 34 points, 11 boards, and 9 assists. In this series, he's been averaging 34 points, 11 boards, 9 assists. That is insane. And he's having a great game tonight. Jokic is the heart and soul of the Nuggets. He is that good of a player. He's fantastic. And even worse for Miami, Jimmy Butler misses the first free throw. Got to make your free throw. Second one does fall. Both teams have missed a few. I think Denver still has missed a couple more than Miami, but Miami being down by the amount that they're, I think all the points they can get, they have to make their free throws down the stretch if they get more free throw opportunities to try to cut this lead down. 15-point game. 1:30 to go in the third. Down low, Jokic with the ball. He's off the mark. Ball's out of bounds off of Jokic. So it will be Miami Heat ball. Maybe they can start to chip at this lead. Lowry with the ball going up the floor. 1:20 to go in the third. Lowry outside to Caleb Martin off the drill. Bruce Brown's on. Caleb Martin tried to kick to Cody Zeller, and Cody Zeller loses the ball out of bounds. That's not a good play right there. Caleb Martin, I know what he was trying to do. Get it to Zeller, see if he can get an easy bucket, but the pass was just behind him. I don't even think Zeller was ready for it to begin with. Jamal Murray with the ball. Top of the key. Kicks to Jokic. Down low to Christian Braun, and that's just compounding the Heat's problems. Now Jokic, he's done the dirty work, scoring all the points, getting all the boards. Now he's getting all the assists. Christian Braun in 13 minutes is 8 points, 4 of 4 from the field. Christian Braun's just such a solid player. And Christian Braun, he goes down the floor and dunks it home. 82-63. What a dunk by Christian Braun. He does all the small things, but he's starting to have a big role, a much bigger role than he usually does. 10 points for him, 5 of 5 from the field. Duncan Robinson in the corner does hit a 3 to quiet the crowd and help the Heat have something to believe in here for this fourth quarter. But what a shot by Christian Braun. A big dunk there. That was a great steal, and the shot beforehand was great as well. Christian Braun is rapidly improving and gaining confidence. That bodes well for the future for the Nuggets. Christian Braun for 3. Finally misses a shot, but he gets his own miss, gets an offensive rebound. Kicks it outside. Now Bruce Brown off the dribble. Drives in the lane. Kicks to Jeff Green. Over to Bruce Brown. And then I think there is a shot clock violation. So with 13 seconds left in the third quarter, it's 82-66. And the Miami Heat will have a shot to score before the end of this third quarter. Maybe try to steal back a little bit of momentum. But Christian Braun's dunk was insane. That was great anticipation on that steal. And then the authority dunk. That just goes to show you right there that Denver's playing harder than Miami. The pass was lethargic, just like you said, RC. Miami was a little lethargic there. Christian Braun anticipating that steal to perfection and then slamming it home with authority, showcasing his talent, and Denver much gives you the confidence to do things like that. Jimmy Butler in the lane. He scores another mid-range shot. Jimmy Butler's been really good tonight, but his teammates help him out. So at least Miami ends the third quarter on some type of good note. 82-68. 14-point lead for Denver, but Jokic with 26 points and 17 rebounds. Jamal Murray with 22 points and 8 assists. Both players have been great, and then Denver's getting some production out of some of their other guys. Jokic has been setting them up really well, but Christian Braun, I mean, he is a guy that is supposed to come in for a few minutes, try to play some solid defense, maybe score a couple of times, but he's going out there and playing a massive role for Denver. I mean, 10 points in around 13, 14 minutes. He's only missed one shot. Yeah, the 3 that he missed was kind of ugly, but still, everything else has been great. He's been scoring in a variety of ways down low. That was a great dunk, and that's still the anticipation, the intensity that Denver has. They want it more than Miami. Miami wants it, and they want to win the series because they played really hard in game 2, but I don't know if they're out of gas or what, but just Denver has finally kind of broken Miami. Miami was playing great in the first half at times. They had their moments, but Denver is playing like the tougher team. They're playing like the tougher team in this game. They've been stealing the ball. They've been blocking balls. They've been doing a great job all around in a variety of ways in this game, and that's why they're now up by 14. There's still time for Miami to turn this around, but the Denver Nuggets, they are in great shape in the way that they're playing, how that they're playing. They deserve to win if they keep this up for 12 more minutes. I mean, they are playing that good. Jeff says, what a sick dunk by Brown. I agree, and that's by a rookie as well in a playoff game. I mean, you talk about sometimes the moment's too big for a player because he's not used to the moment. He's never been, in that situation before. But Christian Braun, a rookie, just going out there and annihilating the rim like that, I mean, that is confidence. And yes, it helps when your team's winning, but that was a great steal as well. Again, the anticipation. Because think about it, if you don't get that steal and you give up an easy pass and then that player scores, I mean, the coach can pull you. We know Christian Braun had the confidence to steal that ball, go down the floor, dunk it home. And again, Michael Malone rewarding Christian Braun with playing time. And he should, because he's playing so well. I mean, you definitely have to reward a player when he is playing some solid basketball. So definitely it's good all around for the future of the Nuggets franchise, especially if they do lose a player or two out of the rotation because they can't pay them all, whether it is a guy like Bruce Brown or Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. If they lose one of those guys, Christian Braun could help fill the void. But if the best case scenario for Denver is that you can somehow keep all these guys, maybe you can keep them all happy with the right amount, of the salary cap to pay all the guys. We'll have to see what they do with their roster. But this Denver team is the best Denver team with depth that probably they've ever had. That's why they're in the finals. They've had some really talented players in the past, but this is a complete Denver Nuggets team. They've got great players all across the board. Jokic and Murray are just the two stars, the two catalysts, but they've got a lot of guys that help them out in a variety of ways. And I think that is just showcasing in this game how there's just too much for Miami when they're playing at their best. And when Miami's struggling a little bit, they just can't hang with Denver. They need Denver to struggle. Miami needs Denver to miss shots. Miami can still beat Denver otherwise, but it just isn't as easy for them to do it when they're having to go out there and hit a lot of threes. And this just not been Miami's night. Even when they play well in this game, they have not been shooting the three ball at that high of a rate. I think that they've just been struggling from the outside. Jimmy Butler's hit a couple threes, but Max Strus, Duncan Robinson, Caleb Martin, those guys aren't hitting a lot of threes in this game. And Denver is. Denver's also getting to the line. They're hitting free throws. And Jokic just being elite again, doing everything, passing, scoring, rebounding, and the passing. He had 41 points in the lost game, too. Tonight, he only has like 27, 28 points, something like that. But the assists are up. He's got almost a triple-double again. There is a better team when Jokic has a lot of assists because that means other guys are making shots. And that's so important for Denver when they're having a team of guys, a team effort of guys playing so well on the offensive and defensive end. Miami down by 14. There's a foul on Bruce Brown. There's going to be no free throws because of the fact neither team's in the bonus. But that is a good strategy probably for Miami. Try to get fouled, get to the line. When trailing by 8+ points entering fourth quarter, Miami eats 4 of 5, and rest of the NBA is 1 of 41. That's crazy. So Miami's got a great record when they are down by a lot. They definitely still have a shot. Fantastic, super quick. Yeah, he surprised you with the amount of speed that he has. He's a really solid player that I think will be in the NBA for years to come. Denver's got a really good player for sure. 11:32 to go in the fourth quarter. Duncan Robinson over to Bam, back to Robinson. 3 seconds in the shot clock. Lowry in the mid-range. Lowry's shot is blocked. What defense from Denver. Again, the intensity. These are winning plays being made by the Nuggets. They're defending so well, blocking, stealing, rebounding, and then the scoring. It's fantastic. Jokic, that was a great block on Lowry. Yeah, he has the size advantage, but it was still a great play nonetheless. But there's a turnover. Denver with the turnover. Bam gets the ball from Lowry, and there is a foul. So Miami will be going to the line. Again, this is a strategy Miami probably needed to employ in the third quarter. Get fouled, go to the line. That is something they sometimes forget about because they can shoot the three, but it's not happening right now. They double-team Murray, try to kick it to Jokic, and then Gabe Vincent, though, right there with the steal. Up the floor, kicks to Bam, and Bam's foul. Bruce Brown making him earn it at the line, but it cost him a foul. It cost him a foul and definitely could help build the momentum of Bam in the Heat, getting some points. Bam's first free throw is good. It barely goes in. So it's 82-69, but another free throw will only be a 12-point game. RC says, is it over or does Miami have a small glimmer of hope? I think Miami still has a small glimmer of hope, RC. I mean, more than likely you would think that Denver will win at the end of the day, but like, they said, Miami has come back several times being down big. So I wouldn't say it's over at all. But I really do appreciate you for being our RC. It's been a good game regardless. Thank you guys all for being here. 82-70, Bam hits the second. 12-point game, 11 to go in the fourth. There's still time. The Nuggets, they're in good shape, but you just can't slack off. They haven't scored yet in the fourth quarter. They've had a couple of chances to do so. They have not yet. You got Jamal Murray, top of the key, dribbling with Gabe Vincent on him. Gabe Vincent has been pretty solid on defense outside of the ticky-tack fouls that he's accumulated. Jokic down low. for 2. He misses the shot, but Jokic has the offensive board. And again, that's a winning play. These are plays that sometimes you don't really think about in context of the game. But right there, if Denver misses that shot and Jokic doesn't get the offensive rebound, Miami could score, cut to 10 or 9. But instead, Jokic gets the board. The ball stays with Denver. I think Miami just fouled Denver, so they'll have a chance to score again. Jokic makes winning plays. He cares so much about this franchise, and it just tells how he leaves it all on the floor. Miami, Jimmy Butler does as well, but the Heat just can't seem to get it all together in this game. And Jamal Murray, he's helping out Nikola Jokic to the nth degree. What a mid-range jumper right there. 84-70, that gets it back out to 14. Kyle Lowry driving into the lane, kicks to Bam. What a block by Denver. Fantastic. Murray down the floor. 10-10 to go in the fourth. Tried to kick it over to Christian Braun. I think the ball was deflected. It looked like he was going to have a wide open 3 in the corner, but the ball was deflected out of bounds by the Miami Heat. But Bam down low, trying to go up. And then you've got Bruce Brown with the block. That was fantastic. Much shorter player, but he jumped in the air and blocked that ball cleanly from Bam. Again, another winning play by the Nuggets. Brown to Jokic, and Jokic adds to his points, and a great pass by Christian Braun, the awareness. He could have taken it to the rim, maybe got fouled, but instead kicked to the wide open Nikola Jokic, and Jokic is just pouring on the stats. He's got 28 points, 19 boards, and 9 assists. He only needs 1 more assist for a triple-double yet again. Bam in the lane for 2. His shot's off the mark, and Miami is in big trouble now. Down by 16. They had a little bit of a glimmer of hope when they were only down by 12, a little bit of a flurry, but now they're down by 16 again. Jamal Murray, top of the key, kicks to Christian Braun. Now it's over inside to Jeff Green. They're going to call a foul. They're going to call a foul on the Heat for holding Jeff Green. That's a tough break for the Heat. They can't afford fouls to be called against them either. They need stops. That's the biggest key. They need to find a way to get some stops, but it's just not happening right now. And Jokic and Murray, all these guys are balling out. They're doing a great job on both ends of the floor. And like Jeff says, Denver's defense is really good tonight. And that's why they're going to win this game. Miami only has 70 points. I'm not offense is ripping up the road or anything, but at the end of the day, Miami only has 70 points, and they're struggling because Denver's playing this well on defense. Defense still matters in the NBA. And Denver, if they win, they deserve it because this defense is stifling. It's incredible. Christian Braun to Jokic. He missed a shot like he could have been fouled. No foul is called, or did they call a foul? They might have. I'm not 100% sure. 9:19 to go in the fourth. 86-70, but there might be a foul on the Heat. RC says Christian Braun's come alive. Definitely. He's got some skills, just needed some playing time. I agree with you. Literally, sometimes the biggest key to a player and his confidence is you just got to let him play. And sometimes let him play through his mistakes. And when you let a player play through his mistakes, eventually he's going to stop making as many. Everybody makes mistakes. Even stars do. But Christian Braun's a guy that is getting playing time because he improved as the season went along. Mike Malone started to entrust him in bigger situations, and now he is ready for the biggest moment. This is the NBA Finals. Nothing gets bigger than this. And Christian Braun, without his contributions, Denver would barely be winning right now. They would only be up by like 3. So that's how important Christian Braun has been overall. And they're showing him age 22, 21st pick in the 2022 NBA draft. It's insane how well he has been, how good he has been, how well he has played in these finals and in these playoff games for Denver. I mean, he was good at Kansas. I mean, he was really good at Kansas. People thought that he was going to have a really solid NBA career potentially, but not this early at all. RC said Denver's the better team. However, with Miami, we're banking on them playing more determined, more focused, playing with more heart and grit, making shots, and that's just not happening for Miami. Not tonight. I agree with you, RC. I mean, you're 100% right. Denver is the better team. You're absolutely right. Denver, on paper, is the better team by far. It's just the fact that Miami has been so gritty. Like you said, they've been playing so well and so hard. As the underdog, that's what's gotten them here. And they did it in game 2. They won that game by 3. They scrapped that one out. But like you said, it's just not happening tonight at all. And that's why Denver's winning. Jokic hits both free throws. And then on the other end, you've got Kyle Lowry to cut the 18-point lead for Denver down to 16. That was a good layup by Kyle Lowry, but it might be too little too late unless their fortunes can change real quick. Lowry's got 4 points, 3 boards, 4 assists. Denver with the ball. Top of the key, Jamal Murray kicks down low to Christian Braun. His layup is good. 90-72. What a play by Christian Braun. Everything's falling for Christian Braun. That is a good play. A really good pass by Murray as well. Murray with the wherewithal at the top of the key, sees Christian Braun. A nice cut by Christian Braun. That's a great play. And Jimmy Butler just forgot about him down there. He just forgot about it. He had him on defense, but Christian Braun with the nice cut and Murray being double teamed. Someone's going to be left open. That is a great play by Murray to Braun, and Braun cashes in the three-point play. 91-72. What an effort by Christian Braun. He has been the unsung hero in this game. Gabe Vincent down the floor. He misses. Bam tries to tap it back home, and he misses as well. Braun down the floor. Braun inside, and Christian Braun for two. What a shot by Christian Braun. This guy's emerged. He is playing elite basketball right now. The rookie is the third best player on the floor for Denver after Jokic and Murray. What a play by Christian Braun. That's not a rookie play, especially by the guy who was the 21st pick in the draft over Jimmy Butler, who's one of the best defenders in the NBA. What a shot by Christian Braun. Unbelievable. He's a big reason that they're going to win this game if they do hold on and not allow Miami to come back. And it's looking increasingly likely that's not going to happen. That's a fantastic play by Christian Braun. Unbelievable. RC says Miami's defense isn't too horrible either. They've only given up 86, but Miami isn't making baskets. They should be in this game. Denver only has 86 points. I completely agree with you. I mean, Denver, they're up to 93 now because of Christian Braun's awesome performance in this fourth quarter so far, but still, Denver usually scores more than this. Miami hasn't been completely awful on the defensive end. It's just that their offense isn't there. And a lot of it is because of Denver's defense. I mean, sometimes someone can play so well on the defensive end, a team can play so well on the defensive end that it just completely unravels you on the offensive end. Once you get behind, it's hard to come back sometimes. You can, and Miami's done it. They've been the team all playoff long. They would not be here without these comebacks. They've been great all playoff long with being down big and coming back and winning. But unfortunately for the Heat, I think that they just dug themselves into too big of a hole here. Denver is in great shape. They're up by 21 points, mainly because of Christian Braun's performance in the fourth quarter and Jokic and Murray. It's been mostly those three guys, but still, for sure, Denver in great shape. Miami in a lot of trouble. If they lose or not, completely in danger in the series. They'll be down 2-1, and it will put all the pressure on them to win Game 4 to tie the series back up, because if Denver wins Game 4 and goes up 3-1, that might be about it for the Miami Heat. But still, can't get ever, so still a long way to go. We'll have a Game 4. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Still got 8 minutes to go in Game 3 in the fourth quarter, but Denver is looking increasingly likely that they're going to win and steal one at Miami. RC says, Only Talk Sports. Jimmy Butler is really good, but his finals performance has been disappointing. If you compare it to finals performance from Kobe, Giannis, Wade, Jake, etc., it's a little heartbreaking. Yeah, I mean, Jimmy Butler has had some fantastic playoff performances. But, I mean, if you're talking about finals performances, I mean, I can't say that you're wrong at all. I mean, he hasn't been the Butler that we've seen in the first round of this playoff or even against the Knicks. He has been kind of struggling in the last few games. But I think that there's still time for him to regain his footing. There's still a chance for him to do that. But like you said, he has had some struggles in the finals, and this year's no exception. He hasn't had an awful game. He's actually has, you know, he's been a little inefficient, but he hasn't had an awful game. He hasn't had one of his worst games of the playoffs. He has over 20 points, but Bam, he's been solid. He's got a double-double, but there's just not enough there around him. I don't know if that's going to prompt Eric Spoelstra to bring Tyler Hero back in Game 4 or not. I don't know if Tyler Hero will come back. I don't know if he wants to mess up with the rotations. But in this game particularly, Miami's getting exposed a little bit just for how deep Denver is and how smothering their defense can be when they want to play like it. And Miami just isn't getting shots to fall. The guys have been so great. Again, the undrafted 4, Caleb Martin, Duncan Robinson, Max Strus, Gabe Vincent. Those guys have been elite. They've been awesome. They've helped out Jimmy Butler tremendously, but it's just not happening tonight, and they're about out of time to rectify that problem. Jeff says Braun hasn't missed a shot. He only missed 1 3, but outside of that missed 1 3, he's been great. You are right, Jeff. He doesn't feel like he's missed anything. He has outscored the Heat in this fourth quarter. That's how great Christian Braun has been. One of the best performances of his NBA career, especially in context of this game, probably the biggest. Kyle Lowry, though, does respond with a 3. 93-75, 18-point game. That's a big shot by Kyle Lowry that can maybe stop the big run by Denver, get Miami a little bit of momentum, maybe can give them an outside chance. There is a steal. Denver with a turnover, but they're going to need a lot more of that in the final 7:50 to go in this game. Bam with the ball. top of the key, kicks to Lowry for another three, and Lowry that time can't knock down the shot. Bam has the offensive rebound, and there is a foul. I think they call that foul on Nikola Jokic. Jackson says the Nuggets are having a fantastic night tonight. You're right, Jackson. I mean, there's not much else that can be said about the Denver Nuggets performance. Is that as long as they keep it up for 7 more minutes, they're going to win. They've been that good. There's not going to be any chance for the Heat as long as Denver doesn't slack off. They've been that good for sure. No free throws on that foul because they're not in the bonus yet. So inbounding the ball, Miami inbounds it to Bam. Now it's over to Butler. Butler needs to get rolling in a hurry for the Heat. He kicks back to Bam, and Bam's shot is short. And Christian Braun, the hero of the fourth quarter for the Nuggets, he's got the board. 7:20 to go in the fourth, and the Nuggets are trying to tick out the clock on the Heat and be able to go up 2-1 in the series and win on the road. There's 7:15 several four quarters in these playoff series. Now you've got Bruce Brown down the floor. Bruce Brown misses the shot. Good defense for Miami. They are starting to tighten up on defense a little bit. Again, if you are Denver, you can't slack off. Butler in the lane, being guarded by Murray. Turn around. Butler kicks to Bam. Bam down low. He has nowhere to go. Back to Butler. Great defense from Denver. They're all over him. Butler in the lane, kicks outside to Vincent. Vincent's three's off the mark. Bam, though, has the offensive board. Kicks over to Jimmy Butler. Butler driving in the lane on Christian Braun. And Butler misses, but Bam has the offensive rebound. Bam scores after 4 tries for the Miami Heat. 93-77, 6:35 to go in the fourth, and there is a timeout on the floor. I think this one is by Michael Malone and the Denver Nuggets. Trying to give his team a break, use some of his timeouts, try to settle his team down a little bit. But, I mean, even though Miami scored on that possession, the amount of time that it took for Miami to score, that's wasting time in this game. I mean, Denver, the effort they're displaying at this point, with Miami being down by the 16 points that they are, they need to score quick. And they need to get Denver to miss and get the ball back. But see what's happening is that Denver is preventing Miami from scoring quickly. And then on the offensive end, Denver is taking their time and they're getting good shots. Even though they have missed the last couple of shots, it's just eating a lot of clock. Mathematically, if Denver keeps up what they're doing, all they're going to have to do is score around 10 more points to be guaranteed to win. It's really unfortunate for Miami. They still have a little bit of time, but this has been a fantastic performance by the Denver Nuggets, specifically on the defensive end, specifically by Jokic, Murray, and Christian Braun. It's been incredible to watch. And like you said, Jackson, they've been fantastic, and they deserve to win if they do. It's been a great performance. Jeff says somebody needs to buy Braun a steak dinner after the game. I agree with you, Jeff, especially if in a big cast, he's been that good. I mean, if it wasn't for Christian Braun's performance in this game, then the Nuggets would not be leading by the amount that they are. They might be winning, but Denver would not be winning by the amount that they are at all. They'd probably be up by 5 or maybe 7 at the max. They're up by 16 because of Christian Braun. They're up by the amount that they are, keeping the Miami crowd at bay because of his performance. And he's confident, and that's spreading to his teammates. Again, confidence is dangerous for the opponent when the team that you're playing against gets confidence. Because once you have a team that gains confidence, it's hard to get that confidence to swing back your way. It's hard for both teams to be confident. Unless it's one of those back-and-forth games like this game was earlier on, that you can have both teams with confidence. But unfortunately for the Heat, Denver got a big enough lead. They got a lot of confidence, and Miami has started to fold a little bit. It's really unfortunate for them. They're down by 16, 6:35 to go in the fourth, but Denver has been fantastic in this game. RC says, Only Talk Sports, a really good game that went bad really fast, and it's just disheartening. I mean, I agree with you, especially, RC, when you look at the fact there's not that many NBA games left. You want them all to be great. You want all these finals games to be great. You want them to be close. And, the first 2 games are pretty solid, especially Game 2. Game 2 was great. Game 1 was solid, but Game 2 was fantastic. And this game's had a lot of moments. The first half was really good, but like you said, I mean, you want the whole game to be great. You want it to be down the wire. Maybe Miami has something in them the last 6:35 to go in the game, but not looking very likely. But really do appreciate all you guys for being here, regardless of the fact that Denver has really extended a big lead on Miami. Still got a few games left. I will try to be back to do some more of these NBA Finals games. Don't know my schedule right now, so we'll have to see if I'll be able to do it or not. But really do appreciate you guys for being here tonight. It means a lot. You guys are the best. Victor says, wow, Nuggets up by 16. Good defense by Heat, but better offense by Nuggets. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Both teams have had good defense. That's why it's a fairly low-scoring game. Like you said, the Heat have had good defense. That's why Denver only has 93. But the offense has been better for the Nuggets, and the defense for the Nuggets has been better overall. That's why Miami struggled. The Nuggets are just better on both ends of the floor. Miami, that's why they're up. 6:30 to go in the fourth. 93-77. Jokic with the basketball, top of the key, kicks to Jamal Murray. He's got the basketball in space, trying to move by Bam Adebayo. He almost loses the ball, and there's a steal. Good steal by Lowry. Up the floor to Caleb Martin. Caleb Martin 4-2. That's a good play. That's exactly the type play that Miami needs. 93-79. 7-0 run for the Heat. Again, you can't lax if you're Denver. Last 220 of the game, you've had Miami going on a 7-0 run. Under 6 to go in the fourth. Bruce Brown to Nikola Jokic. Top of the key. Bam Adebayo's guarding him. Jokic trying to make a play. Kicks to his teammate Jamal Murray, and Jamal Murray cashes in. I don't know if that's going to count as an assist for Jokic, but if it does, that's going to give him a triple-double. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe Murray had too many steps, but regardless, a great setup by Jokic. And Murray's got 9 assists of his own. He's got 26 points and 9 assists, so he's almost got a double-double. It is unbelievable. Now you've got Butler driving in the lane, kicks outside to Gabe Vincent, and Gabe Vincent scores. Unbelievable. What a play right there by Gabe Vincent, not giving up. That was a great shot by him, but still they're going to need a lot more of that. And Jokic does have a triple-double, 30 points, 20 boards, 10 assists. What a performance. 20 rebounds. He don't just have 10 or 15 rebounds. He's got 20, 30 points, 20 boards, 10 assists. Jokic is the all-around offensive player. Jokic down low to Caldwell Pope, and there is a foul at 4:59 to go in the fourth. And it could have been another assist if Caldwell Pope had cashed in, because Jokic with a great pass right there to set him up. RC says, Miami, perhaps they had the home short advantage. That's a good one, RC. I mean, Miami's been a good team at home, but actually, if you do look at their home record in the NBA playoffs this year, they've actually won a lot of road games. Miami, for whatever reason, has been winning more of their games on the road. They did it against the Celtics. It's crazy. They won Game 7 at the Celtics. They won the first 2 games at the Celtics. They lost most of those games at home. So maybe they can win some of these games at Denver. They've already lost one at Denver, so they're really going to have to find a way to win a home game, because if not, they won't have a chance in the series. But it's interesting. I mean, they've definitely been a team that's been kind of doing better on the road. 97-81. 4:50 to go in the fourth. Denver up by 16 points. It's very easy to hit free throws when you're up big. It just definitely is. It eases you down. It's very easy to be at the line. You're already winning big. No pressure. Gabe Vincent over to Caleb Martin. Top of the key. Kicks to Jimmy Butler. Butler is going to have a massive final 440 if Miami's going to have any shot, but most likely the game is out of reach. Lowry, though, to the lane. Lowry with the bucket. 97-83. Really good layup by Lowry. Victor says Jokic won assist away from a triple-double. He did get that assist, but I agree with the Jokic. What a stat line by him. 30, 20, and 10. Most players could not do what Jokic does. I mean, we're watching a legend play basketball that's going to be remembered for a long time. Jokic is that good. He is a fantastic player. Jokic in the lane. Turn shoulder. His shot's just a little off. It almost went in. Had the soft touch, but it just rimmed in and out. 14-point game. Lowry in the lane. To the rim. Instead, kicks it back out. He drives right back in. Kicks to Butler in the corner for 3, and Jimmy Butler's off the mark. That would at least cut it to 11 for Miami. That shot really needed to fall, but now Denver's going to eat more clock, and with another score or two, you would feel like the Nuggets have the game. Miami really needed that bucket to fall from Butler. It just did not happen. Jokic, top of the key to Murray. 56 paint points for Denver. Murray to Jokic. Jokic inside again. Make that 58 points in the paint from Denver. Jokic scores again, 99-83. That's your game right there. Denver in the paint has been fantastic. At the line, they've been pretty solid as well. But 58 paint points, you just cannot beat that. Miami only has like 28. So Denver has more than doubled Miami in the paint. That is insanity. That is fantastic right there. Just going in the lane. Whether they're taking contact or not, they've gotten to the line a good bit, but they are bullying their way inside. And that right there is why the Nuggets are winning games. because they're getting inside as well as shooting threes. Nikola Jokic is the first player in NBA Finals history to have 30, 20, and 10. Unbelievable. We have just seen NBA history. So you want to talk about, but it'll be their first title ever. The Heat will be the first 8 seed to ever win an NBA title. Nikola Jokic is the first player in NBA history, as long as the NBA has been going on, the amount of great players that there have been. First player in the NBA in finals history to have 30, 20, and 10. That is incredible, and that's why they're winning the game, because he's actually been solid at defense today. He's got a couple blocks as well. I mean, he's still giving up a few to Bam, a few easy buckets, but he has tightened up on defense. And his offense has just been as incredible as ever. He's still boxing out on the glass. Murray's been solid. And then Christian Braun in the third and fourth quarter was unreal off the bench. The rookie balling out. Denver's just got enough guys playing well. And for Miami, Jimmy Butler's had a solid game, but it's not enough. Not enough out of Robinson, Strus, Vincent, and Martin. Those 4 guys, they've had their moments, but it just hasn't been enough all around. Bam's had a solid game. It's just not enough to counter. Denver and Miami both playing solid defense, because Denver, I mean, you would think as well as they're playing, you'd think they'd have 120. Miami's been good on the defensive end, but Denver's been better. And Denver, they've been a little bit better on the offensive end as well. It's crazy. RC says, only talk sport. There's a major talent discrepancy. If Denver can play just a bit more consistent like tonight, they win the series without needing 7 games. I agree with you. That's why I thought there was a shot that Miami was in a lot of trouble when you look at the fact that Denver, if they could have won the first 2 home games, they could be up 3-0 right now. But Miami, they won that game too by 3. They had to have that game, because in hindsight, looking at this game here, they'd be down 3-0, and Miami would probably be either swept or lose in 5. At least it gives a chance for Miami to rectify the problem by winning game 4 at home, make it 2-2, keep the series alive longer. But still, like you said, RC, the talent discrepancy is fairly large. Miami's got a good team. They've got solid depth, but Denver has just more depth. They've got more talent across the board. And if they play more consistent, like you said, and they play with the consistency of the way they played against the Lakers instead of playing like the Celtics where they're really inconsistent, then I do think that Denver will win the series for sure, and probably 5 or 6 games. I agree with you, RC, but we'll have to see. Denver's going to have to want to have a shot in this series. A shot we'll have to see for sure. It's going to be really interesting. 99-84. 15-point game after Butler hits both free throws, and Jamal Murray off the glass. Somehow he got that shot high off the glass and laid it in. That was a ridiculous shot. Everything's going the Nuggets' way right now. That was unreal. 101-84. Jokic just showcasing all of his talent and ability right there. Vincent misses a 3, and Denver, they saved the ball for going out of bounds. Murray down the floor. Murray to the rim, laying it up and in, and it doesn't go in. He had it, almost had to put back, but couldn't get that to fall either. But that layup by Jokic, though, it rattled home, but that was an incredible play. And he's got 28 points, 9 boards, and 10 assists. Murray is 1 rebound away from a triple-double himself. So he's already got a double-double. But if he gets 1 more rebound, he'll have a triple-double. So if Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic both have triple-doubles, would be insane. Yeah, Murray went high off the glass. It almost hit the top of the backboard, and it rattled home. The amount of touch on that shot is just insane by Murray. Again, it just shows you the talent he possesses. That's a great shot. They're showing it yet again. What a play. They could show it 100 times. That's how good that was. Murray off the glass and in. Butler's at the line for 2 free throws. He does knock both down to cut it to a 15-point game. It's 101-86, but it's too little too late. 2:27 to go in the 4th. Denver was just the better overall team. Jackson, for the first time in NBA Final history, there's a 30-20-10 game in the NBA Finals. What a fantastic night for Nikola, the Joker, Jokic. I agree with you, Jackson. It's been an incredible performance by Jokic. It's going to go down in history, especially if Denver does win this NBA Finals. It will be even more important, but it's going to go down in history anyway. People will be talking about it, especially if someone else does it or he does it again. He could. That's how good he is. But it's insane. Bam down the lane. There's a foul. 2 to go in the 4th. Miami trying to drive, trying to draw contact, trying to get to the line, but all of this is futile. They needed this earlier in this game. Miami needed to drive and get to the line earlier in this game. They're doing it when it's over with. That's crazy. Victor says Joker's playing with fire. I agree with you, Victor. I mean, he has been on a mission, a man on a mission, giving everything he's got. He's doing everything well. He's even upped his defense. People knock his defense. He's even upped his defense for sure. I mean, he does well. His defense is a weakness, but he's still doing better at that also. So it's crazy. But like you said, he is playing with so much intensity. It is so fun to watch, especially if you're a Denver fan or not really a fan of either team and you don't really care who wins. It is very enjoyable. If you're a Heat fan, you don't want to see Jokic playing that well for sure. RC says, well, Miami better win game 4 else this thing is over back in Denver. Doesn't take a rocket science. See, that only talks sports. You're right. It has to be a game 4 win for Miami. They have to win game 4 or it's all over. Bam hits both free throws. 101-88, 13-point game. But you are right, RC. They got to win game 4 or they're not going to have a shot. Bam has 22 points and 17 boards. It's not like he's played bad either. 22 points, 17 rebounds, and they're going to lose just because Jokic and Murray almost with a triple-double, Jokic with a triple-double, first in NBA Finals history with 30, 20, and 10. It's just too much. I've missed 3 on the other end. I think maybe Murray stepped out of bounds, so the 3 wouldn't have counted anyway. Murray stepped on the out-of-bounds line. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, RC. Game 4 is going to be highly anticipated. We'll have to see if Miami can win game 4. And if they do not win game 4, then, like you said, they're done more than likely because they're not going to be able to come back from 3-1 down, and even though they've been better on the road. Duncan Robinson for 3, though, 101-91. And Michael Malone, he's calling a timeout. He does not like his team's intensity down the stretch. He wants to be able to get his team over the finish line, and he calls a timeout. He's only got 1 timeout left. Miami has 2. So with 1:32 left in the game, a little bit of drama still. Miami only down by 10. Michael Malone is not satisfied yet, but definitely it's going to be really interesting for sure. If game 4, assuming Miami does lose in this game and they're down 2-1, they have to win game 4. We'll see if their intensity will be at an all-time high. But I do think it's interesting, though, that Miami has been a better road team when usually they're a better home team. They're a better home team throughout usually like the regular season, but in these playoff games, Miami against the Knicks, they were able to on the road. They even did it at the Bucks. So I think it's just crazy overall that Miami's been good on the road. So maybe if they do lose both home games, maybe they can win at Denver. In game 5, you never know. But then in game 6, they'll be back at home where they have struggled. Who knows? But like you said, RC, they have to win game 4, more than likely to have a shot. RC says, thanks for covering these finals nonstop. The content stays lit. The live streams and pre-recorded videos. I appreciate you only talk sport. Keep up the grandiose work. I appreciate that, RC. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate all of you guys that are in the chat so much. You guys are the best. Without you, it would not be worth doing. I enjoy doing this. You guys are the best. I do appreciate that, RC. Really enjoy making the videos, doing the lives, and I'm glad that you are enjoying them for sure. I really do appreciate that. And definitely we'll try to continue to do the NBA Finals if I can. Sometimes stuff gets in the way. Might not be able to do every single game, but I will try for sure. But I do really appreciate that for sure. The compliment means a lot, and I really do appreciate you for being here. Denver, they're going to be going to the line. 2 seconds in. Miami not wasting any time to foul Jokic. I mean, they're trying to preserve the clock, but again, Jokic not really the best guy you want to foul because he's good at the line. They're showing Jeff Green, career 15th season in the NBA. He's played for Seattle/Oklahoma City, Boston, Memphis, the Clippers, Orlando, Cleveland, Washington, Utah, Houston, all those teams, and now Denver. It's crazy. All those teams. That is a lot of teams to be playing for in the NBA. He's played for over 10 teams. That is an NBA journeyman. He's 36 years of age, and he's still got game in him. He's still a really solid player. He can still shoot the ball. He can defend. Is he as good as he once was? No, but he can still be a nice veteran for your team. I think that's very important overall. I really like what Jeff Green brings to the Nuggets. Just showing his career, though. It's been all over the place. So many teams, and he's just still consistently plays hard, and now he might get a ring with the Nuggets potentially if they're able to win this year. You've got Duncan Robinson, though, knocking down the 3. It's 103-94, 122 to go in the 4th. And you've got a scrum going on down low. Jamal Murray. I have no idea. I think they might have called an offensive foul on Jamal Murray. I don't know. I have no idea. Chaos might be starting to ensue. Let's see. Did Jamal Murray extend an elbow? Yeah, I think they're going to get Jamal Murray for elbow and Caleb Martin. And Caleb Martin, again, selling that content. He did get hit. But now Miami's got the ball only down by 9. I mean, there's still, ironically enough, time. You got Jimmy Butler over to Bam, and Bam in the mid-range misses. Bam had a good attempt. If Bam Adebayo had to hit that shot right there, that would have cut it to 7 and made things really interesting, but he missed. Couldn't get it to fall. That elbow by Jamal Murray might have really hurt the Nuggets' chances to be able to comfortably win if Miami had to score it again, but Bam couldn't hit that shot, and that might be enough. That might be enough for the Denver Nuggets to move out of Miami with a win. Still a little bit of time. Or shooter being double digits, you feel like that will be enough. Caldwell Pope's first free throw is good. 104-94. 10-point game. Caldwell Pope, maybe these free throws can get him going. He has been very silent in these finals so far for Denver. He did hit a big mid-range shot earlier in the game, but he definitely needs to get going for Denver to be able to easily, you would think, win this series because he is a solid player that just hasn't been playing at his best. But that shows you how well Jokic and Murray have been. And then Christian Brown. You don't even need all your guys to play well. That's how good Denver is. You don't even need all your guys to have big games. A missed shot by the Miami Heat, and then Jamal Murray down the floor, and then there's a foul. 1:02 to go in the fourth. At this point, I'm not really sure if Miami should foul because they are down by 11. There's a minute to go. I mean, maybe. But, I mean, it's kind of at the point where they're not really in great shape. They're probably not going to have much of a shot to come back, especially if Denver keeps hitting the free throws. They're showing Kyle Lowry. It looked like he got caught up on the floor a little bit. Hopefully he is okay, but definitely if you're a Miami Heat fan, don't want to see Kyle Lowry banged up. But he's a nice veteran player behind Gabe Vincent. It's an insurance policy if something happens to Gabe Vincent. Lowry has 9 points, 3 boards, and 5 assists, 29 minutes. He's a nice veteran player. You just do not want him to get banged up. I don't know if they're reviewing the foul on Murray, if it's a technical or not. I have no idea, but they're showing some old highlights right there of the Miami Heat back in the Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James era. I mean, that was a fantastic Miami Heat team. Rajon Rondo, all those guys was incredible. They're showing Dwayne Wade on the sidelines. That was a fantastic Miami Heat team. Dwayne Wade, a 3-time NBA champion. Miami, they have a shot to win a finals this year, but it's going to be very difficult for them to do so with the way the Denver Nuggets are playing. It looks like they are going to be able to win one at Miami. They're only a minute and 2 away. RC says that the Heat don't win the next game. Well, that's when we'll know if they're Cinderella NCAA type luck truly ran out, laughing out loud. Yeah, you're right, RC. I mean, it is kind of like the Cinderella in the NCAA. I mean, they're the 8th seed. They're kind of like the 16th seed in college basketball. You know, the 16th seed's never been this far, but maybe you can say something like the 10 or 11th seed in college basketball. Kind of like that, where you look at like Syracuse or South Carolina or VCU. Those were all 11 seeds, went all the way to the Final Four. So, I mean, kind of like that for sure. I mean, you got a really good point, but it does look like potentially the Cinderella run might be ending because Miami, if they lose the next game, will be down 3-1 and they're will be about out of chances. But still, you can't give up on them. Still time for the Heat to regroup and win game 4. You don't want to count them out just yet. Still plenty of time in this series. Only being down 2-1 is not the worst thing in the world. But like you said, RC, it definitely will be getting dicey if they do not win game 4 as well. So Denver hits both free throws. Miami misses a shot on the other end, and the ball will stay with them. It's tapped out by Denver. Victor says, good stream, Only Talk Sports. Keep it up. Appreciate you. I really appreciate you, Victor. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the compliment. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully, we'll be able to do some more NBA Finals streams. My schedule will permit, but again, do really appreciate you for being here, Victor. Means a lot. Hayden Highsmith's into the game for Miami. Strange that he didn't play more in this game. He thought maybe when Miami was struggling a bit that Eric Spoelstra would have brought him in to provide a lift off the bench. He was actually doing a really solid job in some of these games for Miami, but Eric Spoelstra didn't play him, and maybe it wouldn't have mattered anyway. I think they called another foul on Miami. I think you're going to have Jamal Murray going to the line. I don't really understand that strategy. Udonis Haslem is into the game as well for the Heat. That's really cool to see. He'll be retiring after this year. It's awesome to see him into the game. But I definitely think that looking at the Miami Heat, I don't really think they need to foul Denver anymore. They're down by 13. There's 29 seconds left in the game. Don't really have to do that. Udonis Haslem, the oldest to play a finals game in NBA history, age 42. That is just really cool. Yeah, he hasn't played in a long time. He's been a player coach, but still, he has come in and done some things for the Heat, even in the last couple of years. That's really cool to see him out there making NBA history. Been a lot of history being made. Again, whoever wins the series is going to be history made. You got Jokic breaking history with the 30, 20, and 10 game, and now you got Udonis Haslem all the way back in the day coming out of Florida, back the oldest player to play in the NBA. In the finals. That is really cool. 1 of 3 in NBA history to play 20 seasons with the same franchise. Dirk Nowitzki and Kobe Bryant. That is awesome for Udonis Haslem. He's breaking records, getting tied with records in the legend books. That is awesome for sure in the record books. Awesome to see. 25 seconds to go in the fourth. 109-94. Jamal Murray hits both free throws, and that's about it. Miami's going to take one more shot, but it's not going to matter. Udonis Haslem, he has the ball. They let him shoot a 2, and his shot is off the mark. Jamal Murray was guarding him. He wasn't really guarding that hard. I don't think it mattered to him if Udonis Haslem scored or not. But definitely it would have been cool to see him score, but it's over. 109-94. This game is over. Jamal Murray is dribbling, and now he passes to Thomas Bryant, who's into the game for the first time for the Nuggets as well in these finals. That's crazy right there. But that's the game. The Heat, they won one at Denver. They were able to tie the series up 1-1 in a 111-108 game. Miami to really actually saved the series now that they won that game, because they lose that game and they're down 3-0 right now, but they could not win at home. It'd have been big for them if they could have, because they'd been up 2-1, potentially could go up 3-1 with a game 4-1 at home, but they could not get it done. Now it puts all the importance on game 4. They got to win that home game, because if they do not, they'll be down 3-1 and probably out of the series. RC said, D-Way, that's funny. That's a good one. That is a good one, RC. That's hilarious. Nana says the last half was a little one-sided, but still enjoyable. Congratulations to the Denver Nuggets. You did a great job as usual tonight. Thank you, Nana. I really do appreciate it so much, and I completely agree with you. It was a great game. But then Miami kind of fell apart, and Denver definitely took over, and it became a one-sided affair. But do really appreciate you for the compliment and for being here. It means so much for sure. But NBA history was made tonight. Udonis Haslem, oldest player to ever play in the finals. Jokic, first player in the NBA finals to have 30, 20, and 10. He was great. Murray almost had a triple-double. Christian Bryant off the bench was great. Denver, they deserve to win with their intensity, effort, and desire to get the job done and want to win an NBA finals. Miami still wants to win as well, but Denver played with so much effort and intensity. They deserve to win for sure. What a 109-94 win by them. But I really appreciate you guys here. Like the stream down below. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Share the stream out on social media. But again, most importantly, I appreciate you guys for being here. Without you guys, definitely could not do this. I do really appreciate you guys. You guys are the best. But this was a great game. I'll try to be back soon for the NBA Finals. I'm not 100% sure how my schedule will work out. But I do really appreciate you guys for being here. Definitely a lot of fun. Go Tigers. That just got here, went on a later run. Good job. Keep grinding. Thank you, Edward. Thank you, Go Tigers. I appreciate that as well. I definitely will. Appreciate the compliment for sure, but definitely appreciate all you guys. You guys are awesome. But what a 109-94 win for the Denver Nuggets. Miami, they're going to have to respond in game 4, or they might be done. But it's not over yet for the Heat. We'll have to see if they can respond. But it should be a lot of fun. But thanks. What a win. What a performance by Jokic. NBA history was made tonight. What a performance by Murray. And it wasn't enough for Butler and the Heat. We'll see if they've got enough left in them in game 4 to keep the series alive and be able to potentially have a shot to maybe still win this series. But Denver, they'll be in great shape if they win game 4. But on to game 4. It should be a lot of fun. But what a 109-94 win by the Nuggets tonight. They were great with their win at Miami. Thanks for being here, everybody. I really appreciate it.